Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here, Sunday morning. And man, we got triple duty once again. Two previews and a reaction. It seems like these Raptors games between Raptors and Raptors 905 are coming in threes. Whether it was the back-to-back around the trade deadline with the Raptors and a school days game in the morning for the Raptors 905. Well, Raptors 905 played yesterday. I went to game courtside. I have so much to say about that game in my reaction. And then Raptors 905 is playing again today, along with the Raptors playing the Indiana Pacers on a Super Bowl Sunday. So these two games are at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, respectively. 2 o'clock for the G League Raptors 905 against Motor City Cruise today, and 3 o'clock for the tip off at Scotiabank Arena hosting Pascal Siakam and the Indiana Pacers. I got all the information you need this morning. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So let's get going because there's not much time because there is a game at 2 o'clock. And then at 3, double duty watching. So be ready to double duty watch and another opportunity for a double W. That's right. Just like we got on trade deadline Thursday. A double W is to be sought by the Raptors organization today with the opportunity to win 2 games within an hour of each other. Let's do it. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let me get on the latest lineup news for the Raptors game today with the Pacers. This is something that happened yesterday at practice, guys. Emmanuel quickly twisted his ankle, guys. He sprained it during the practice on Saturday, and he is now listed as questionable for today's game against the Pacers. This is from Blake Murphy. Thank you, Blake, for all you do and your information and coming here and posting it on Blue Skies. I appreciate you. Yeah, so Emmanuel is questionable. He tweaked his ankle in practice on Saturday for the Raptors. Jakob has been upgraded, guys. He is not ruled out today. Poeltl is questionable also. There is a possibility that Jakob Poeltl will be returning to the lineup today against the Pacers, guys. It's a very high possibility, actually. If he's not coming back today, it's very possible he will play against Detroit on Wednesday, the last game before the All-Star break. They said this past week. Darko had said it. Bobby had said it, that they expect Jakob back either today or Wednesday. So there's a high probability. There's actually a really good chance that Poeltl will return and play tonight, which is fantastic. This is such good news. He's been practicing fully with the team, and barring any setbacks today, he may be online to come in and actually return to the lineup today. So we'll have to see if Jakob Poeltl, our Austrian center, is finally going to return back to our team after 2 months away. This is huge, man. I saw Chucky Hepburn yesterday. He's got a full beard. He's been sitting on the sidelines for the Raptors 905 with the crutches. His meniscus is healing. Hopefully it's healing as best as possible on the right schedule. And Chucky isn't feeling it too bad. At least, Chucky, you're getting lots of time with your newborn baby. I'm sure that's happening. You got to count your blessings, even if it's not you playing out on the court and getting things done. So that's the injury report for the Raptors today. Quickly and Poeltl questionable, and Hepburn is out. RJ's playing. RJ was only out the last game because of a scheduled sit out for back-to-back rest reasons. So it's not that RJ got hurt again, is why he missed the game against the Bulls. It was because that was a planned back-to-back because of his recovery from his timeout, and that was normal. There were no setbacks or anything like that. He is going to be in the lineup today. So expect Rowan Barrett Jr. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So the lineup, if Jakob comes back, how will they juggle this? Could there be a weird lineup where Quickly doesn't play and Jakob does, and we see Scotty Barnes play point guard with Colin Murray-Boyles staying in the lineup with Jakob and Brandon and RJ? A really big lineup? Could that be a possibility? Or more likely, Jamal Shed would start in the place of Emmanuel Quickly. I don't know. Could we see Scotty point guard tonight and the versatility of our franchise player coming out there and running the point with Murray-Boyles at the 4, Jakob at the 5, Brandon at the 3, and RJ at the 2? That could be a possible starting lineup for today, guys, depending on how things shake out with Quickly and Poeltl. That could be very interesting if that happens. The ESPN matchup predictors are predicting that the Raptors have a crazy good chance to win today. The matchup prediction right now, this percentage is this. It is 67.3% the Raptors will win today. So 67% matchup prediction by ESPN right now. Now let's go look at the other side. The Pacers have had some changes to their team. They did make a big trade around the trade deadline to acquire a center, and Ivica Zubac. Zubac is not going to be playing today, though. He is actually slightly injured right now, and the Pacers are being precautionary, and they're going to wait for him to heal from his ankle injury before they actually debut him as a Pacer. So he is out. He will not make his Pacers debut against the Raptors today. So do not expect the big man from the Clippers, who's recently shown up in Indiana. This is good because he's been a problem for us as a player in the past. So it'd be great if Jakob showed up and they had him, but it looks like for sure Zubac will not play today, guys. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton is out. He's been out the whole season, and that's just been the news. Obi Toppin is getting closer to returning from his foot injury, but he has no timetable still yet, according to Rick Carlisle. So Toppin is still out. Kobe Brown, their guard, he just got traded. He's been ruled out for the game, and he's also out for this game today. He was ruled out for Friday's game against the Bucks, and he's ruled out against Toronto. So newly acquired Kobe Brown is not reported and shown up for the Pacers yet, and he won't show up today either. I think he came in that trade with Zubac from the Clippers. Ethan Thompson is a day-to-day right now. He's a two-way. Aaron Nesmith is questionable for today's game due to a left elbow sprain. So it could very well be the great role player for the Pacers. Aaron Nesmith is not available for them. And with Mathern gone now because he got traded to the Clippers, Nesmith's more important than ever for providing offensive punch for the Pacers lineup. And Micah Potter, their backup center, he is questionable for today due to a hip injury. So he may not be playing today either. So who are the Pacers at this point after the dust settles, after the 2026 trade deadline in the NBA? Well, let's go over them real quick. Of course, our kid from Aurora, Andrew Nebhart, is the starting point guard. He has been healthy. He has been playing fantastic for the Pacers this year. So we love you, Andrew. Team Canada's Andrew Nebhart. We'll be seeing him today back home in the great country of Canada playing against us on the Scotiabank Arena court. Johnny Furpey has been graduated. The young kid has graduated to the starting shooting guard for the Pacers at this point. With all the flurry of movements and Mathern leaving, Furpey is now the starting shooting guard for the Pacers. And that will tell you enough right there about the state of where the Pacers franchise is. They're starting Johnny Furpey. Aaron Nesmith, you normally stars at small forward. If he is not available, I would expect maybe Jarace Walker will be stepping into the starting lineup for him in his place. Pascal, of course, the all-star, the Raptors' great Pascal Siakam holding it down as the franchise player right now and the starting power forward for the Indiana Pacers. Of course, we love to see Siakam, and Siakam versus Barnes is always a treat. So let's see the two all-stars go at it again today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Raptors fans, tune in and watch it on a cold Sunday. That's right. Ivica Zubac is the normal starting center. He is out for sure. So Jay Huff will start once again for the Pacers today. Off the bench, they still got TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Cam Jones, Jarace Walker, as I said earlier, Quentin Jackson, and that's it pretty much. That's it. Their lineup is not very talented. It's not very deep. It's not very big. It's not very together. We should beat the shit out of the Pacers today. Seriously, if we lose the Pacers today, it's because of wiliness by Rick Carlisle and ingenious moves and just craziness. If the Pacers win today, that's a problem. It's something that should not happen. But if they did, I wouldn't give a huge amount of credit to Rick Carlisle and probably Pascal Siakam if they do this. I don't see it. I feel really, really good about the Raptors winning this one, just like against the Bulls. But it's like anything. You can't take anything lightly, Raptors. You got to treat this professionally, come out for the full 48, respect the game, respect your opponent, and get the W the proper way. You know, you can't take shortcuts. You have to do everything right. And even if the opponent is not as good as some of the other opponents you play, you got to play to your highest level and standard. I'm just saying, that's what you got to do, Raptors. You got to do that. All right. Earlier in the day at 2 o'clock, the great 905, the Raptors 905, amazing team, is going to be playing Motor City Cruise. I think this is the first time we played them this year. It's kind of like playing the Pistons on Wednesdays. We're finally getting around to seeing these Piston teams. So I'm going to go ahead and do the ref report and go over the lineup for the Motor City Cruise real quick so we know who we're playing at 2 o'clock at Paramount Fine Food Center. Their lineup is Jaden Akins of Michigan State, Dawson Garcia, Dennis Jenkins, the great scorer for G League scorer. Dennis Jenkins is no joke. If he is down with the Cruise and he's in Mississauga today, he could be a real problem today, similar to like James Akinjo for the Grand Rapids Gold. So watch for Jenkins. That man is a hooper, and he's been one of the best G League players the last couple of years in the league. Bobby Klintman, the high-profile draft pick of the Pistons, will be maybe available. I don't know if he's going to be with the big club or he's with the Motor City Cruise right now, but he does play for Motor City Cruise. Chaz Lanier out of Tennessee. Matthew Moncrief is on this team. Wendell Moore out of Duke is on this team. Makai Mitchell, Quincy Olivari, the former Celtic Drew Peterson is on the Motor City Cruise, so he will be suiting up today, probably against the Raptors 905. The sharpshooting Drew Peterson, another player we got to watch out for. Omar Stanley, Tulu Smith, the draft pick for the Pistons out of Mississippi State. Brian Taylor, Samir Torrance, John Ukamadu, and Bryce Williams. That is the lineup for Motor City Cruise. And they, as I said, 905 just had a game yesterday. They're going to be right into a back-to-back, but their team is replenished with people coming in like the two-ways and Jonathan Mobo and Tyler Perry re-signed. So the roster for Andrew Jones is strong once again, and they have a good chance to beat teams because they're fully there. In some ways, the losing streak they had recently was really a symptom of not enough talent and bodies available for Coach Andrew Jones. But that has been alleviated and fixed. The referees for the game today in Paramount Fine Food Center is one of them's coming right back. One of them that I was talking to yesterday, and we'll go over the story about that soon. But the crew chief today is going to be Marcy Williams. She was not available yesterday. Marcy Williams is number 72. She is in her second season as a non-staff official in the NBA. She's her favorite TV show is Girlfriends. She likes the movie Brown Sugar. She listens to Beyonce. Her favorite book is Eckhart Tolle's New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. Her favorite meal is soul food. She likes to listen to Apple Music. She must like to visit Africa. Her bucket list is to travel for a year, and her hidden talent is bowling. Yeah, the New Jersey native has 3 years of collegiate officiating experience working in the American East, American, Big East, Colonial, Ivy League, Metro Atlantic Athletic, Northeast, and Patriot conferences. She also officiated high school games in New Jersey for 2 years. Yeah, Marcy Williams is the crew chief in Paramount today. And the second ref will be Gina Catanzariti. Once again, she was the crew chief yesterday. And, well, we had some conversations. Not really conversations, just me talking to her. It was interesting. I want to talk about the ref report from the courtside game that I was at yesterday. It's very fun. It's very fun and very interesting. I feel like I did have a factor helping the 905 by the end of the game. It's kind of like good cop, bad cop going on the court yesterday with Andrew Jones and I, him being the bad cop and me being the good cop, trying to kiss up to the refs. It's pretty hilarious what I said to them. I'll tell y'all in a little bit. But Gina's number 75 in her first season as a non-staff official for the NBA out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Her favorite TV show is The Sopranos. She likes Forrest Gump. She loves Beyonce also. Her and Marcy can bond on that. Her favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. Her favorite meal is homemade pasta, meatballs, and sauce. Her favorite app is Instagram. She most like to visit Southeast Asia, yet around Italy, and she's really good at half-court shots. I did not ask her if she would shoot a half-court shot. The opportunity did not present itself, and the referees were very much taken away from the court as soon as the halftime Chinese Dragon show started. That's when I would have asked Gina. But no, she had to be gone to this with the security and go hang out for halftime in the back. So, yeah, the New Jersey native, Gina, graduated with a bachelor's degree in business marketing from Rowan University, where she played 4 seasons on the basketball team. Catanzariti was a team captain and scored more than 1,000 career points. So she's a baller. She can ball out, Gina. That's right. That's why she can do half-court shots. The third ref for the 905 game is Julian McFadden, number 52. He's the umpire. And that's your ref report for the G League game at 2 p.m. Let's get into the referees for the Raptors game with the Indiana Pacers. The replay center will be manned today by Courtney Kirkland and Simone Jelks. So, yeah, that's the two-person crew at Secaucus. And our referees on site, on hand for us today. No, our crew chief is Pat Frayer, number 26 out of Minnesota. Pat Frayer is in his 25th season. His favorite TV show is Yellowstone. He likes the movie Caddyshack. His favorite musician is Billy Joel. His favorite meal is barbecue. He likes the NBA app. He most like to visit Italy. He wants to play golf at Augusta National. And his hidden talent is he can sleep anywhere. That's right. Pat Frayer was a recipient of the Evans Scholarship, which provides full tuition and college scholarships to golf caddies. He earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Minnesota. Yeah, Pat Frayer has been a referee that's been very good to us in the long time ago past, but in the recent past, not so much. The last game that we had with Pat Frayer, we did win, but this season we're 1-2. 1-2 with him so far this season. Overall, with the refs today, we are 6-3 in an overall record. But Pat Frayer's winning percentage with the Raptors is 49%. Which is not bad. It's above our franchise mark for our history. The franchise mark, his mark with the Pacers is higher. They win 52%. So 49-52 is the split for the Pacers with the crew chief, Pat Frayer, today. Yeah, Pat Frayer is a pretty fair ref. I like him mostly, but he has not been kind to us in certain situations in the last few years. So, Pat, we like you, man. I wish you'd like us more and treat us better. We have home court today. Remember that. Referees keep forgetting where they're refereeing. If you're in Canada, you should favor the home team a little bit and give some home cooking to the Canadian teams. I would say that to the referees at Paramount Fine Food Center last night also. Yeah, if you're in Canada, you should be giving some calls to the Canadian team, okay? That's all I'm saying. I understand stateside if you're trying to screw us in Birmingham or something like that. But we're in Canada. You're in Mississauga, Gina. So start calling the calls for the home team a little bit. All right? I'm just asking, please, for a friend. A friend named Andrew Jones. The second ref here is Carl Lane. Star Wars lover. Ah! Dun, 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 dun. Oh, wait. Dun, dun, dun. No, he's not the Empire. What is the good song for the Star Wars? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Carl Lane, number 77, 15 seasons now, Little Rock, Arkansas. That's right. We are 5-0 with Carl Lane this year, y'all. 5 wins, 0 losses with Carl Lane. He is the best ref for the Raptors this year. We are undefeated with him. 5-0. It's going to be 6-0 after today in the 6th with Carl Lane reffing today. His favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. He likes Star Wars movies and Star Wars books. And he listens to Jay-Z. And his favorite meal is Mexican. And he likes to play Candy Crush. And he most like to visit Rome and see the 7 wonders of the world. And he's a hidden talent in home repair. So if you got something wrong with your house, he can come over and fix it for you because he's like that. Carl Lane is awesome, man. Of course, we love Carl Lane. He was an in-school suspension teacher, just like the Breakfast Club. That's why I call him Breakfast Club sometimes, because he was Breakfast Club on a Saturday. Judd Nelson sitting in the room with him and trying to get away with something. All right, yeah, Carl Lane, we're 5-0, man. That's what I'm saying. Carl Lane is just awesome. We love him, man. He's up to 58% winning with the Raptors after 5 wins in a row this season with him on site. And, well, the Pacers win 49% of their games. So 58-49 for the Raptors with the Star Wars fan. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. We love you, bro. That's right. May the force be with you, Carl Lane. Yes. Yes. He's definitely going to be – I think he's referee of the year, y'all. Seriously, already. I'm going to call it. The third ref is problematic. The third ref is the junior ref. He is not the highest guy on the pecking order, which is good because he's not nice to us. It's J.D. Rawls, Jamal Rawls, JD Rawls, number 80, in his second season out of Baltimore, Maryland. His favorite TV show is Power. His favorite movie is The Forge. He likes to listen to Anthony Hamilton. His favorite book is Die with Zero. His favorite meal is shrimp pasta. He likes to read the Bible. His place he would like to visit is the Maldives, and his hidden talent is he knows sign language, which is pretty admirable and cool. I have to say that, seriously. JD Rawls has officiated 7 seasons of the NBA G League, where he refereed playoff games 6 years, 5 finals games 4 years, and the championship game of the Winter Showcase 3 years. In 2022 and 2023, he was a referee for the championship game of the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas and the Basketball Africa League Finals. Yeah, JD is a young ref. He has not refed a whole lot in the NBA. We have had him a few times, 9 times to be exact, and our record overall with JD is 3-6. We've had him once this year. We lost, so we're 0-1 with him this year. And, we're 33% with the 3-6 record with him. So 33% down there, really low on our he's in the same section as Murat Kugat. Let's just put it that way. And the Pacers, well, in his 2 years of reffing, they're 4-1. So he has 80% with the Pacers. So it's 33-80 for the Pacers with the third ref, JD Rawls. He's not been kind to us. I've watched him. He's not calling calls, and he's in that school of camp like CJ Washington. He's just one of those kind of refs that's kind of a dick to us. You know, Murat Kugat, CJ Washington, JD Rawls. So maybe JD follow the leadership of Carl Lane. Please. So the ref crew is fair overall because I trust Pat Frere to a degree, and Carl Lane is just a badass. And JD Rawls, well, he's the third guy. In seniority, he's not going to be commanding too much of the game and what being in charge as the ref. He's just going to be there. May be little calls where he's on site at that moment and he gets it against us, and that's how he can hurt us. Maybe it's a possession arrow, maybe it's a questionable contact where it could be a foul either way. Yeah, he's going to have a proclivity to call it for Indiana. Just so you know, JD Rawls. So, yeah, there's your ref report. I'm not too upset about it. I think because of the state of the Pacers right now and that we have a few very admirable refs. Seriously, Pat Frere is a good ref. He may be mean to us right now, but he's a good ref. I won't say he's a bad ref. He's a very good ref. So, yeah, we got a good ref crew. I think it's a good ref crew today. I hope I don't eat my words, basically. That's what I need to worry about right there. All right, we'll start with the chat. Good morning to Trevor J., our commissioner of fun for this channel. He helps me in so many different ways, and I appreciate Trevor Jones very, very much. Of course, Trevor's checking in from the Sunshine State of Florida and Fort Lauderdale with his words of wisdom this morning. So let's see what he's saying here. Life will test you in ways you didn't expect it, will push you, stretch you, and ask you more of than what you feel ready for. But rest assured and know this. God is still with you, though it is all you can count on him when everything else feels uncertain. Yeah, we're going into a new age where fear and scared and stress and, this kind of stuff is going to be an energy that's feeling around us because a lot of things are uncertain right now. And there's a lot of things that could go really wrong in certain ways soon. And we don't want that. In some ways, we have to be able to be ready. Yesterday I had a learning lesson. When I was on my way to go to the game, I went out to the truck to clear the truck to get it ready to go to pick up Adriana and get to the arena, Paramount 5 Food Center. Well, I opened the truck, I put my keys in the ignition, and I cranked up the heat to try and melt some of the snow off my windshield. And I turned on, I turned the truck on. And well, the door kind of closed a little bit, and I hadn't unlocked the other doors of the truck. And all of a sudden, the truck door that I had open froze to the truck, and I couldn't even get in the truck. And the truck was running. The truck was running. And, I'm sure this is a rite of passage for a lot of Canadians and people that live in northern climates. And I had a moment of fear. I had a moment of, what am I going to do? My keys are in the truck. The truck is sealed. All doors are locked, it looks like. And I can't get into my house either because my house is locked because I'm leaving. So it's like, and my phone is in the truck too. So it's like, what do you do, Lex? So in those moments of crisis, you got to think clearly and just kind of logically think things through. I tried all 3 of the doors. None of them were unlocked. And then I tried the driver's side door again, but I was like realizing this is not actually locked. This is just frozen shut because of the ice. And it just caught. And it's so I grabbed the door with my hands and I manhandled that door and I yanked it the fuck open. And I fixed my problem. So sometimes, problems can seem like problems in that moment, but you got to have faith in yourself. You got to have utility and you got to have a problem solving mind that can try and fix the problem when it presents itself. And this is dumb, man. I really did think I was fucked because I couldn't get in my truck and I had my truck sitting in the driveway just running. Yeah, that was crazy. But a clearer mind and a plan will get you the right things. And I was like, well, you just got to rip that motherfucker open. And I did. I ripped that icy sealed door open and I got back in my truck and everything was fine. But that's a lesson right there. So sometimes, things will present themselves. You may not think you have the tools to do it, but you do. If you seek deep, have faith in God, God will guide you. That's it right there. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. Blessing to Jones family, and all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah. God was with me when he made sure I got back in my truck. That's right. Trevor J saying that 905 was at a dog fight yesterday, all the way to the end to put off that win. Yeah, to pull off that win for sure. This is the second game that I've gone to in a row with Adriana where the team for the Raptors has won by 1 point in an inexplicable, crazy ass game. The last game that was like this that I went to was Philadelphia, game 1, where we went in overtime by 1 point in Scotiabank Arena, and that crazy ass game against Nick Nurse and all them. You remember that Philadelphia 1 point overtime win on a Sunday? That was crazy. That was a game where the energy is like, we're not letting the Raptors lose. Whether it was the crowd, whether it's the Raptors themselves, we were not letting us lose. It didn't matter if Rodney Mott and them were trying to run us to the ground with their refereeing and giving the game to Nick Nurse and the Sixers. We did not let them lose. And the same thing happened yesterday at Paramount. I was like, we're not letting the Raptors 905 lose. And the Raptors 905 weren't about losing themselves either. Andrew Jones beaming with pride after the game, talking about the resiliency of his team and the ability to make the right plays in crunch time in very, very high level way, situations that were tough, like just barely getting that win. James Akinjo has to miss a free throw for us to get this win exactly right. We have to get a crazy ass steal with AJ Hogarth to get this win right. There was a lot to it, and they were down by 4 points with 3.3 seconds to go. How the fuck do you win that game, right? How do you do that? Well, there's a way, there's a will, there's a way, there's a way. And I'm telling you, man, I was trying to help. Andrew Jones was very frustrated with the referees yesterday. They were calling a lot of fouls on the Raptors 905. In fact, I was talking to them about it during the game. I talked to Kaz Beverly. I talked to Prince, which is the third ref, and I talked to Gina, and I called them by name. I said, Gina, what are you doing? You can call it down there. You better call it down here, please. And when Jonathan Mobo traveled in the lane, I said to Gina, that's the right call, Gina. And she laughed at me. She went and told Kaz Beverly, the guy down there just told me it was the right play, the call when Jonathan Mobo traveled in the lane. And they laughed. They both laughed together. And that kind of broke the ice. And after that, their calls opened up. It was really weird, man. I was a little bit like, see, I'm fair. I can see y'all calling it and trying to get it right. And I will call you on your bullshit. But I'm also going to say, you know what? You did a good job on that call, even if it's against our team. Because like Kaz Beverly, the whole game, the second ref, he was surly as fuck. He looked pissed off. And I don't know why. I think that the NBA told him to watch out for Elijah Martin. I think that the NBA said, this is a guy who's been getting into it with James Akinjo of the Grand Rapids Gold, and they are been going at each other, talking shit, and it's getting amped up where they could be extracurriculars that we don't want on the court. So I think that when they brought the referees to the Paramount 5 Food Center, they were aware of the issues between Martin and Akinjo. They were aware of the issues between Sarr and Moses Brown. And they were playing it where they were going to be on top of things and they were not going to let extracurriculars happen because they snuffed out Elijah Martin's bullshit right away as far as his shit talking. They did. They gave Elijah a technical in the first quarter just to have him on warning because if you get the second technical, you're thrown out. So it's like kind of like, all right, Elijah, we're not putting up with this shit today. You are getting a technical right now. And understand, if you get the second one, you're not playing for the rest of the game. And that worked. Cas Beverly looked pissed off, though. He was looking like he was scowling. He looked like a crazy Pokemon evolution of Courtney Kirkland, getting all pissed off on the court. And he was mad. He was mad. And like, man, I was talking to them. I was like, come on, y'all. If you're going to call it at one end, you got to call it at our end, too. And how many times they go on the line? I said that to him. He was standing in front of me because he just happened to stand right in front of me. The ref stood right in front of me the whole game because my seat was exactly where they stand. And I said to Cas Beverly, I said, man, they're getting a lot of free throws. I said, man, they're getting a lot of free throws. And he's like, and you know, they started calling more for us to balance it out. And by the end of the game, Cas wasn't frowning anymore. It was kind of cool to see him so pissed off early. And I think he had to be like that because he was going to be the tough cop if there was going to be extracurriculars in this game because Elijah Martin's shit talking and getting it all in James Akinjo's face. And well, Moses Brown had a couple of errant elbows that flew up in Julian Reese's face, knocking him around. And well, I yelled that at Moses Brown too. I said, Moses Brown, keep your elbows down. Keep your elbows down, Moses Brown. Because he has some wild ass crazy elbows, 7'2" Moses Brown with his crazy ass shit, his monstrous dunks, and his career high yesterday, guys. Moses got his best game ever as a professional against the 905 yesterday, 37 points, and they still lost by 1. But yeah, he was a monster on the court. We had no answer for him. There was all kinds of problems with Moses Brown dominating near the basket. I was like, man, they can't double him. It's like Sarr is the best answer. He can somewhat guard him up like one-on-one and kind of contain him. Like when Sarr was out there with Moses Brown, that was when the best stuff was happening. Julian was trying, but in some ways, Julian just doesn't have the experience, young Reese, to handle a player like Moses Brown at that kind of a disadvantage of height. But he did okay. There's a lot of physicality in that. But yeah, fantastic game. It was cool to see. It was Randy Urban. I was like, Warren Ward don't need me. He's got Randy Urban. Of course, Randy Urban of Raptors Tonight, returning back to a Raptors broadcast and calling the game for the 905 on the play-by-play. That's awesome. I love Randy. I think Randy's awesome. I was so upset that they discontinued Raptors Tonight and they've let him go. The Raptors organization's let him go. He's not technically working for them. So maybe he had a one-and-done freelance shot. Maybe he'll be doing it more often. And I'm wondering where Ben Schulman is. Maybe he's gone to the Olympics. Like, is he doing part of the Olympic coverage? And that's why he's away all of a sudden? That's what I would guess, that he may be a commentator for Olympics or something right now. But yeah, it was Randy Urban doing the call, and that made me so happy. He's the perfect choice because he's good. He's done this. He's done this work before, and he's that guy, and he's a known quantity in the Raptors organization. He's not a rebel and a rogue like me. And in some ways, I was so happy to see Randy sitting over there. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun game all around. I was talking trash the whole game. At one point, I wasn't really talking trash. I was doing defense, and I was cheering our guys on. I was saying stuff to them. Jarkel Joyner acknowledged me once again. I think he remembered me from earlier in the season because I said one of his shots he made right in front of me. I said, what did I say? I said count it or something like that. And he was so happy because it sounded cool because I said it before he even shot it, and he made it, and he pointed at me. He was like, yeah. He went like that. And then at one point, AJ Lawson and I locked eyes at the beginning of the game. I was like, let's go, AJ, let's go. He's like, yeah, man. One point, this was crazy. They weren't getting the calls right, and Elijah came at Gina Catanzariti and basically said this to her. This is what he said to her because I could hear it all. He said, don't you know I'm the best player in the G League? Why aren't you giving me calls? I thought that was awesome because in some ways he can make a case for being one of the best players in the G League, being one of the All-Stars, going to the All-Star weekend. And also his stats are pretty damn good for G League too. So I thought that was funny that Elijah was coming at the refs, trying to remind them, hey, I'm one of the best players in this league. You need to respect that and give me the calls. There was a little fracas between Elijah and Olivier later in the game, and it was really over just miscommunication on play and what they were doing, but it looked like they were really pissed off at each other. But I'll tell you right now, they weren't. It was just an intense moment. Two guys who really care about their team and wanting to compete. and they just kind of butted up a little bit. Andrew Jones, after the game, was not threatened by it or upset about it. He said, no, it was good because I want my team to care and I want to see this kind of energy of accountability for each other. And, it really kind of, you look at it, Olivier Sarr has been around the NBA for a little while. He was trying to tell Elijah that this is how we should do something because Elijah didn't do it exactly right. Elijah kind of mouthed off back at him, but it's just they're competitors and they care. And if they really were pissed at each other, why would Elijah dump the ball off to Olivier Sarr for one of the last big buckets that we made to win the game? So the teammates are not upset with each other. It's just the intensity of the game and a little bit of a amped up fieriness in it. So yeah, man, Elijah's just a volatile player, man. He's just a volatile player. And in some ways that can help you or hurt you. In some ways he could give you real juice to rumble on the court, as Andrew Jones calls it. Or he could be a distraction and a detraction because he's pissing the refs off and they start calling a lot of fouls on him and we get in foul trouble. Or he's getting technicals and he's get on the wrong side of the refs. Yeah, the refs were weird. And what, like I said, I was talking to them the whole game. Andrew's yelling at them at the other end of the court. And I'm at the other end as a fan, kind of sweet talking them on the sideline. And they did. They started to come around and start giving us better calls by the end. I love that they gave the last foul at the basket because some of the way that they were calling, they were not giving us respect with contact going to the basket for most of the game. And we know at the end of the game, sometimes they want the foul shots not to determine who wins. But alas, the foul shots were involved in both teams for how they won or not, because they called those ticky-tack fouls right up to the last seconds on the clock. Well, you better call it for us if you're going to call it for them down there. And that's what I said to them all game. And they did. And we made our free throws. I couldn't watch when Olivier Sarr took those last two free throws to win the game. I couldn't watch. I looked down and I did not look. If you guys watch the highlights from the Grand Rapids Gold Raptors 905 game yesterday, you'll see me at the bottom of the screen in my big black jacket jumping around when AJ Lawson makes that winning layup near the end of the game. Yeah, it was just a great time. Once again, sitting at courtside at Raptors 905 CBL games is so much fun. In some ways, I get to interact in the game and maybe even possibly have some sort of factor to a degree. Some people say, you don't have a factor, Lex. Well, you use your ego talking. Bullshit. Bullshit. If I can talk to the refs, listen, I will try and help the Raptors 905 win. And, well, a one-point victory in a tight-ass game like that, you tell me if I didn't have a factor coming over there and telling Gina and being nice to her and saying nice things to her and saying, thank you, Mr. Beverly. Thank you, Mr. Beverly, sir. And when I said that to him, he lit up. He stopped frowning so much. It was crazy. Wait, these people do actually respect me? How does he know my name? He was like, wait, people know G League refs' names? I was like, yeah, I do. I'm like that. I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Beverly. Thank you for the call, Mr. Beverly. And then all of a sudden, old sourpuss Cass Beverly's not frowning so much while he's refereeing the game. Yeah, it was fun, man. There's so much to that game yesterday. So much fun. Thank you to Brandon for coming by and saying hi to us at halftime. There was a Raptor Freak in the house, newer Raptor Freak, and Brandon's. Hopefully, you come and watch the show again. You've come into the stream a couple times. It'd be good to see you, man. But what a great game! I'll do the stars of the game and the box score soon. But yeah, let's keep going in the chat for right now. Trevor's saying happy game day and beat Indiana. Yeah, we need to. This is a team we've consistently beat all year. We have not lost to them yet this year, and we need to continue that streak. We don't need to fumble on a Super Bowl Sunday to a team like the Pacers, who have traded Benedict Mathurin to the Los Angeles Clippers, and they're not the same team. And their pieces that they got in the trade are not available to come in and play yet. So they are a depleted team, similar to Chicago, and they're a little bit confusing and chaotic because of all the changes. So we need to beat them. The strengths of the Pacers are Siakam and Carlisle. If Carlisle is such a good coach, he could see a way to probably try and do something. Donovan did a good job the other night with the Bulls, considering half his team had changed. And, Rick Carlisle, these are good coaches. So we should never underestimate any NBA team, even if it's after the trade deadline and half their team is different. So, yeah, we got to take this seriously, Raptors. You don't come into any games in your mindset saying this is an easy game. Fuck that. You come to the game and you treat it with the respect you're supposed to, and you take care of business like you're supposed to against teams that are at the bottom of the division. So I'm just saying, you got to do that. You got to do that, man. You can't take this shit lightly. Trevor J saying Scotty is taking part in the Shooting Stars at All-Star Saturday. Yeah, they came out with this thing. It's the skills competition is basically what it is. There was some question on the Discord asking, what is this competition? It's the skills competition. It's the one where they run around and throw the ball through the hoops as a pass. They may have to make layups. They may have to dribble around the pylons, all that kind of shit. It's not the three-point shootout. It's interesting teams that they came out with for this. They have a team Knicks, which is stupid, man. It's like, is this all-star game in New York? No, it's in L.A. So why the fuck is Jalen Brunson, Cat, and Allen Houston a team? Well, is it because there's two Knicks all-stars and Allen Houston's available? Okay. Is it because New York is the mecca and it's the main office of the NBA and they have favoritism all kinds of ways? See, this is an epitome of what I'm talking about. Why did the Knicks get a fucking Shooting Stars team for themselves? Privilege. That's why. NBA privilege. That bullshit. The Clippers had a team, but this is so hilarious. They advertised that the Clippers had a team with Corey Maggette and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was going to do this competition at first, but I guess he's not now because they took that shit down real fast and changed the team to a Duke team all of a sudden. They had a Clippers team up originally, guys, a home team for the home all-star team, but they took it down. I'm wondering, There's two things this could be. This could either be that Kawhi said, no, I don't want to do this, man. I'm not going to do this. And all of a sudden, Kawhi's like, Uncle Dennis told me not to do this. I'm not doing this skills competition. It's stupid. I don't do social media. I'm not doing this. That could be one way. Or the other way could be Adam Silver realized, man, I don't want Kawhi so much in the spotlight for the All-Star Weekend aspiration. What is it? Why did y'all tease Clippers skills team with Kawhi Leonard, Corey Maggette, and I forget the other person was. I think it was somebody from the existing team already, like not who would be on the team like still that would do this. Who's like a backup? I don't know. I don't remember who's on the Clippers right now, but it was a Clipper who wasn't an all-star that was going to join Maggette and Leonard. But I guess the Leonard thing just don't work, and he's the only Clipper all-star, and he's not going to do it. So they switched the team to Cameron Crazy's team of Con Knipple, Jalen Johnson, and Corey Maggette, all Duke players. So it's like a Duke skills team. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. And then they got the Harpers, which is cool. None of them are all-stars, though. None of this is all-stars. Dylan Harper's not an all-star. He's on the Rising Stars, but he's not an all-star. His brother, Ron Harper Jr., well, we know him. He's barely on the Celtics. And then, of course, Ron Harper Sr. will be that team. That's an interesting team. I think that team's fun. I'll root for that team because keep it in the family. Dylan and Ron. That'll be a fun team. And Scotty's on a weird team, man. Scotty's team don't make no fucking sense at all. Other than Scotty and Chet have the same representation. And I know Scotty's cool with Chet. But, yeah, they're going to show that highlight of Scotty blocking Chet in the game that they played in the last month. You should show that highlight, NBA, to promote the team of Chet Holmgren, Scotty Barnes, and Rip Hamilton. Where's the fucking connection on this team? This is the potpourri mishmash team. Why did they get Rip Hamilton? They could have got so many other different veteran NBA players from all different. Why couldn't you get Vince Carter for this or some shit? Get an old Raptor and pair him with Scotty Barnes. No, you get Rip Hamilton, who has nothing to do with Chet Holmgren, nothing to do with Scotty Barnes. What the fuck is this team? I mean, I get it. You put Scotty and Chet on the team. That's kind of interesting skills, like coming from both those guys, because this is a skills competition. This is what this is. And Scotty being in a competition where there's passing and shooting and all kinds of stuff, well, he's good at all that. And he makes sense doing this competition. But, yeah, I don't like his team. I think it's ridiculous. The fact that they could get a full Knicks team there and then the contrast of everything just tells you everything you need to know about privilege in the NBA and their bullshit. Why couldn't we get a Toronto team? Why couldn't you get a Toronto vet and maybe let Norman Powell be on that team with Scotty Barnes? Make it a Toronto-centric team. No, you never do that. You never, ever do that, would you, NBA, Adam Silver? You're bullshit. But you'll make a Knicks team, and you'll try and make a Clippers team, but you'll fail because of the decay and the rot underneath the surface of the NBA with the corruption, the bullshit. centered around Steve Ballmer. Yeah, skills competition. That's what this is. It's a skills competition. They can call it the shooting stars or whatever the fuck that is. No, it's the skills competition. It's the competition we've seen for years. Steve Nash would be in it often. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Let's keep going in the chat. James is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak James. Good to see you back in the chat. Isaac Campbell's got Yaka Pirtle 5 on blast. That's right. Maybe we'll see Yak out there today. That'd be fantastic. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Let's win against the Pacers. Fiercey's been busy all weekend with Fiercey Jr. in tournaments and playing in games. That's right. That's awesome. Let's go to the Instagram stories real quick because there's some stuff like that there. First of all, there was a fantastic Raptors open gym that dropped yesterday. I really do feel like the Raptors official admin and Bobby Webster in the front office are utilizing their social media to inform and instruct and teach the Raptors Nation the truth about running a team so that they're not so out of pocket on social media saying all kinds of crazy shit. Bobby's giving you all the answers. Bobby is telling you what he's doing. And in fact, they did it on the open gym, not just in the press conference after the Bulls game the other night, where Bobby Webster took to the conference room and spoke for 10 minutes about the trade deadline and exactly why he did what he did to explain it all very clearly to the Raptors fans. And well, this open gym episode was about 10 minutes. It dropped yesterday. It's very elaborative of the trade deadline. It shows a lot of the stuff that happened about getting Trace. We found out that Bobby has a list of players, 50 to 60 players in the NBA that he's always keeping tabs on because these are the guys he likes. That makes total sense to me. And that Trace Jackson Davis was one of these 50 guys that he's kept the tab on and liked for a while. It could very well be, like Bobby said over and over again in the last few days, he went to St. Catharines. He saw Trace Jackson Davis play amazing in that situation there on Team USA, and he's always kind of put a tab on him, and he's been following him around. Well, this is the kind of interesting way of GMing. Think about this. He has a list of 60 guys in the league that he's keeping tabs on all the time, and depending on the terrain, the environment, and the changes in the NBA, with teams and what they're doing, like Trace getting available because they got Porzingis, then he jumps on it because this is like, whoop, beep, 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 alert. This is one of your guys on your list that you covet. And all of a sudden, there's a real possibility to acquire him. And that's what I'm saying. That's amazing stuff. We got a little more insight. He even went over the timeline for what he's going to do in the next 6 months. So Raptors fans, I don't want to hear your bullshit on social media. What is Bobby doing? What is he doing? He's fucking told you straight up now. You watch Open Gym. You watch his press conference on Thursday. He's told you exactly what he's doing as a GM. And he explained it. He's like, there will be a consolidation move at some point when the time is right. And, you know, the other thing that's been echoed over and over again the last couple of days is the prices were too high around this trade deadline. And this deal that Indiana just did to get Zubac is indicative of it. So we want a smart GM, a GM that knows when the wholesale deals are going on at the store, at the Giant Tiger, or one of these other stores. You know, you want to know when the discount's there. And well, this isn't the time. There was like more higher prices around this trade deadline. Bobby's smart. He's not in any hurry. He can be flexible. He'll wait for when the prices are better on the market. And that makes sense. But yeah, Open Gym, fantastic. Anybody who talks about the Raptors GMing and what they should do, trade deadline, all this trades, whatever, free agency, required watching. If you want to be a critic, if you want to be somebody who opines on the Raptors front office, you have to fucking watch this Open Gym or you're not allowed to talk about it. Because if you don't watch this and get it straight, the information straight from the Raptors, then I don't want to hear your opinion because it's not informed, okay? Okay? I don't want to hear your opinion if you're not watching Open Gym yesterday and you're not watching Bobby Webster at the microphone on Thursday night. I don't want to hear your opinion because you're not informed. Let's just put it that way. That's what I want to say to those people right now. So check out the new Open Gym. It's fantastic, y'all. It's fantastic. Let's see what else we got. Malachi Flynn just taking over Turkey like crazy, my guy. This guy got 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Malachi Flynn is the MVP. They're not even calling him Malachi anymore. They're calling him MVP Flynn. MVP Flynn. That's right. Slim Duck is talking about how Israel the Hawaiian singer who's saying somewhere over the rainbow. It's like it's saying here that the song was recorded in a single take at 3 a.m. by Israel, comma, I can't say his name. I'm sorry. But yes, Chris is in a weird place, man. He got bought out. He got traded to Utah and got bought out. And well, we're just gonna have to see what happens with Chris Boucher. Doug Smith has an article out this morning trying to make overtures that he may revisit coming back to Toronto. I don't think that's likely. The things in Toronto haven't changed since he left and we let him go. It's not like we have a new coach, new philosophies, and new things going on here. So, Doug, come on, man. Windhurst this shit. Use your critical thinking. It's not likely that Chris Boucher is coming back to be on the Raptors. As much as a lot of Raptors fans would love that and it would feel nice, it doesn't make any sense. So it's not likely. It is just not likely. I don't know why he's saying this. Steve Nash had his birthday yesterday, and it was pretty cool. They did a nice thing where they brought somebody on the show for him, a guest, to celebrate his birthday with him. Let's see what else we got. Kelly Olynyk is celebrating Steph Castle for his achievements, and he's got the youngest player in NBA history to put up a 40, 12, and 12 in a game. A triple-double with a 40 spot. Woo-wee! Steph Castle. Yeah, that dude was the rookie of the year. That's for sure, man. Jamal Shedd's putting a youngster on blast. I'm not even sure who this kid is. It's like, come on, tell us who these kids are. You guys just show these youngsters, Emmanuel and Jamal, but we need to know who these youngsters are so you can hype them up. That's right. There's Siakam at a PS43 Foundation event yesterday here in Toronto. Siakam's on his off day. He comes to Toronto. What does he do? He gives out computers to kids. It's underprivileged kids in the future is what he's calling them. There's a huge picture of him with like so many children, and right in the middle of it, big smiles. Siakam is a saint. Siakam is a GOAT. Siakam is a legend. Siakam forever. That's right. All-star Pascal Siakam. We'll see you today at 3 p.m., sir. We love you, man. We love you. And thank you for what you do with PS43. Seriously. Jamal McGlure has been running around in one of those Raptors masks. He looks crazy. He also went to his Kentucky reunion this weekend. So, yeah, Jamal McGlure, you look crazy wearing the Raptors WWE mask. Seriously. Like, if I saw a 7-foot Jamal McGlure in the middle of Toronto walking around with that mask on, I'd be like, that dude, stay away from him. He got on the TTC with me. I'm getting in another car. I see a 7-foot guy wearing a WWE Raptors mask. I'm getting in another car. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting in the same streetcar or in the same subway car with you. I'm getting in another car. Jay Simpson, friend of Raptors, Scotty Barnes and Jonathan Mobo, had the play where Jonathan hit this three yesterday against Grand Rapids Gold. He hit it right in front of me. Like in the highlight of Jonathan's amazing three late in the game last night, I told him he had it. I said, money. I said money, and then he drained it. I was like, I was doing that. When the Raptors would shoot, I would be going, it's in, or all money, or made it. I'll be saying stuff like that. And like I was doing the opposite to that white kid on the Goodwin. He was pissing me off, man. At one point, he was standing in front of me to inbounce the ball. And I said, can you miss, bro? Could you miss, please? And he got so pissed at me. He grabbed the ball and he ran down the court and dunked it on the goal. And he was not missing free throws or nothing. So Goodwin was a problem. There was like a three-pronged attack with the Gold yesterday. There's Goodwin shooting his shots, Kinjo with his aggressiveness and scoring mentality, and then, of course, the dominance of the 7'2" Moses Brown out there. So this is like triple threat coming at the 905 with those guys in some ways really hurting us in different ways. And I told Goodwin during the game, I was like, dude, lay off us, man. Start missing, bro. And he got pissed. And he started making more. So I was like, I'm not talking shit to James Akinjo. I knew that. Like the whole game, I was like, Elijah, if he wants to talk shit to James, he will. But I'm not talking shit to Akinjo because I seen if you talk shit to James Akinjo, he gets motivated. He starts fucking filling up that basket. So I did not say a damn word to James Akinjo yesterday because I did not want to feed his fire. I did not in any way. And I shouldn't have probably said anything to Goodwin either. Because he was pissing, he was getting crazy. But yeah, when J-Mo made that shot right in front of me, you could see me go ba-da-da, like at him, like this. Man, it was awesome, man. They're really tall. Let's just put it that way. Seeing how tall J-Mo is standing right next to me, holy crap, he is really fucking tall. And Moses Brown, oh my gosh, that dude is really tall. AJ Lawson's got the game on blast from yesterday, the 1-point win. I want to say this, the jerseys were fire, literally. I love the Lunar New Year celebration. Happy New Year's to all people around the world. I don't care if you're Chinese or not. This is a New Year's for everybody. Some people say this is Chinese New Year's. I don't know. In some ways, this is New Year's for me too, because I'm all about it. I wore my Raptors 905 Chinese lantern shirt, and they had the Chinese dragons dancing at halftime, and they had foods in the concourse at 905's game yesterday. Nice Chinese foods that are so traditional for New Year's. And it's just a great event all around. I got to dap Courtney Charles, the community executive for the 905, and he came by and dapped me. And they just did put on a really good show. The jerseys are fire, though. Some people were saying, "What are these ugly jerseys?" You're crazy. You think that the 905's Chinese New Year horse jerseys are ugly? No, you're wrong. Those jerseys were fire yesterday. I love them, literally fire, because they have a fire pattern on the side of them. But yeah, they were awesome. I love those jerseys that the Raptors 905 were wearing yesterday. I thought they were cool as hell. Seriously, very, very cool. Yeah, AJ Lawson, Elijah Martin, good job two ways and carrying it there. There's Mobo playing the clip of him hitting that three, and you'll see me pointing at him right after he hits it. Yeah, let's go. I love it. Like, in some ways, I'm in the Raptors highlights, Raptors 905 highlights today. It's crazy. Back to back. No rest for the wicked, Coach Andrew Jones coming in. So this is the thing. They gave the chain yesterday on the 905 to AJ Hogarth, and that was really because he did that steal. That steal he did was insane, and that is really the catalyst to help them win. When he got on the floor, first of all, he knocked it loose from James Akinjo, and it looked like it was just about to go out of bounds right in front of Randy and Warren in the broadcast booth. But he hit the ground and somehow, some way managed to avoid going out of bounds and tossing that ball up the court to AJ Lawson for that layup. And that was such an awesome moment, man. That was such an awesome moment. So AJ Hogarth deserving the chain for the Raptors 905 1-point victory yesterday, because the catalyst of that steal in that moment was really, really integral to getting that. Yeah, it was really, really awesome game. Resiliency. These dudes are not giving up. These guys play hard. They're talented, and they go against some good talent in Moses Brown, and they still get it. Olivier Sarr, more and more respect for you, man, going forward. Seriously. Andrew Jones was watching the game tape after the game with his son, Andrew Jones Jr., so that's pretty cool. Watching the game tape. I think it's also with his daughters too. They had a game yesterday, just like Fiercey Jr. and Ava and Heidi. They went 2-0 yesterday in their basketball game they had. So it was all W's for the Jones family yesterday, whether it's dad getting the W at Paramount and the young girls getting the 2-0 in their games themselves. So that's awesome. I love that stuff. And yeah, no rest for the wicked. They're back to it, back to back, 2 p.m. Motor City Cruise, Paramount 5 Food Center. That's right. Charles Oakley is showing old highlights of himself on the Raptors on his Instagram for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there. Where in the world is Serge Ibaka? Well, he's wearing a really swanky violet jacket that looks so comfortable and warm. I don't know where he is, though, but he's wearing a jacket. Oh, wait, he's in Los Angeles. That's where he is. He just checked in 19 hours ago. So where in the world, Serge? He's in L.A. right now. There's a new SGA shoe. It looks like chocolate. It looks like, truffle. It's truffle. It's truffle color. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Just going through the Instagram real quick. That's not important. That's not important. Norman Powell. That's not important either. All right, there you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. Pretty cool stuff all around, man. Oh, Andrew Jones just liked my message. I just sent him a message about the W's. All W's yesterday. That's right. All W's for the Jones girls and their dad. That's right. All W's. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Fiercely saying Pascal sighting in Toronto. I believe his foundation facilitated a camp for kids. His foundation's just here. It hasn't moved. He's not moved it. He's in Indiana also, but he's in Toronto. He's not packed up shop and closed it just because he got traded the Pacers. He's kept it operational and running day to day ever since. It does not shut down. He's doing it up here still. He still has an office. He still has people working here daily for PS43. This is not something he just threw together for the weekend. These people are still here working in the community all the time is what's going on here. That's right. Trevor J saying that Trace Jackson is playing for the Raptors against Indiana today. Yes, this is confirmed. I love seeing the footage of Trace arriving and Bobby talking to him on the open gym yesterday. You know, Trace got here, and he seems pretty happy about coming to Toronto. It seemed like it was pretty cool for him to see his name and all over our stuff, and coming into the locker room and seeing his name on the locker. That's a big deal to him. You know, it's going to be interesting. Some of the highlights I've been watching of him in the last couple of days, he has a lot of echoes of Colin Murray-Boyles. There's a lot about those two guys that are similar in some ways. I think it's funny the story that I heard that Trace showed up for practice yesterday, and the first thing that happened was RJ said, "I want to throw you a lob right now." It's just like, look, these guys saw the dunk that Jackson Davis did on Wemby, and they're impressed with it. So they want to. They're like, they already trust this guy because they seen, well, if you can do that to Wemby, well, let's see what happens. So lob threats are going to be interesting. With, think about it this way: like the Raptors don't just have one point guard, like a Chris Paul just throws all the lob for Lob City in Clipper land back in the day, Blake Griffin and all that. This team has multiple lobbers, and you got a lob threat out there. You could have RJ throw it, you could have Scotty throw it, you could have Jamal throw it, you could have IQ throw it. Colin may even be a good lob thrower. And well, Trace may be getting a lot of lobs thrown to him because he has multiple very skilled passers on his team now. And he may be having to watch out because he may be getting it from any which way. But I'm excited to see Jackson Davis take the floor as a Raptor for the first time today. And man, I think that he's going to do stuff. I wanted this to happen. Somebody said this on Reddit, and I believe this could happen. What if Jackson Davis comes to our team and he blows up like Sandro has this year? Just because the opportunities are there and he's getting out there and he's getting a freedom on our team that he didn't have on the Warriors. Because that's a big difference between Sandro on the Spurs and the Bucks and on the Raptors, is that he had to play within the system of those coaches. Our system is very interesting because it allows guys to look for places to grow and develop into more, and it's not such a confined box. And Sandro has flourished for it. Could this be an added effect with TJD, that we get to see him kind of go into a new flourishing because he's out of Steve Kerr's box? Maybe. We'll have to see. It's exciting, and I'm going to be really happy to see him make his debut tonight. Yeah, it's awesome, man. He talked about his first trip to Canada at St. Catharines, and it's a really pivotal moment for him that he has a lot of good memories about. So he has good feelings about Canada. And somebody asked Trace about the cold here. Oh, once again, one of the reporters got to be a Debbie Downer. Well, you're in Canada. How do you deal with the cold? And he said, I don't care. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm used to cold temperatures. It's fine. Good question. Good answer. Good answer to bad question. A tired old question. Yeah. So good stuff, man. I'm really excited to see TJD make his Raptors debut today because he will. He's going to make it today. Reggie's saying no Zubac for the Pacers today. That's right. It's too soon. And also he's hurt. They want to get him in when he's ready. They don't want to start integrating him while he's still kind of hurt. That don't make no sense. So Rick Carlisle's going to wait. And who knows? I don't know if he'll wait the whole entire rest of the season like a Brandon Ingram thing last year. But Zubac is not going to be coming back. I don't think he'll be coming back in the next week or so. Who knows when he's going to show up and make his Pacers debut? We're going to be done with the Pacers after today. This is the last time we play them for the season. And if we beat them today, we'll have swept them 4-0. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. That's right. Smooth saying, apparently he was extremely hurt by getting traded. His wife just gave birth. This is per Nicholas Batum. Was completely unexpected. That's another factor to why he's not reporting, is because they're giving him extended paternity leave to be there with the birth of his child. So, yeah, that checks. I don't think Zubac was unhappy being on the Clippers. I think that he liked playing on such a high-level Hall of Famer kind of team for the last few years. And in some ways, he really rode with the Clippers strong as far as identifying with them and going to battle for them. And I think that does hurt when all of a sudden you say, oh, you're in a different jersey. So, yeah, I could see him going through this right now. It's like Anthony Davis don't even just want to be in Washington. Well, Zubac wanted to be in the Clippers, and in some ways, he may come around and be like, I love being on the Pacers, but right now it stings and it hurts. And with the distraction of a new baby, maybe Rick Carlisle's like, man, this guy's not going to be in his right head to show up here. Just let him hail his ankle and go ahead and get as much time with the newborn as he can. And I think that's what they're doing right now. That's what they're doing. Black Hawk, what is that, a scarab beetle? Oh, my gosh. He's got 3 scarab beetles. I don't know what this is, this cryptic message, a scarab beetle. What does the scarab represent here? I don't know, Neil. I might need the explanation. This is weird, man. A green scarab beetle. That's really crazy. Trevor's saying the Knicks and the Celtics at 12:30 today. Who cares? Fuck those guys. Yeah, the Raptors are now solidly at 5th because Cleveland won last night against the Kings late, and they took another half game above us. They were a half game above us, and then they won again last night. So we need to win because in some ways we're sliding in the Eastern standings. Out of the top 4, we're solidly in the 5th spot right now. And I don't like that. We got to win like the other Eastern teams to keep up. And I'd like to get that home court advantage back in the first round. So 4th or higher is what we need to be, Raptors. Y'all are good. You can do this. So catch up and get back up over the Cavaliers. They shouldn't be above us in the standings right now. James Harden, screw up that team sooner than later, please. Screw up that team as soon as possible. Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex and the Rep Freak crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. It is Sunday, and I hope you're having a nice day at home with your family, and you got some good basketball to watch today. That's right. That's right. Fiercey's saying, okay, thank you for explaining the shooting stars component. No problem, Fiercey. That's what we're trying to do. Bobby and I, we're trying to educate the Raptors Nation so that they are more well-informed and not talking out of their ass. And Bobby Webster, good job. You know, that's the thing. You guys can take it in your hands. You know, there's a good line of proprietary secrets, and then just letting the public know what you are doing so that they can shut up and stop saying stupid shit. I love that William Liu asked him straight up about RJ Barrett in the press conference the other night. Thank you, William Liu, for straight up asking about that, because now we have an answer and we can point to it when people start talking out their ass about RJ and what's happening with him. It's crazy. Yeah, Fiercey saying, I'm just happy Scotty is getting more shine. Yeah, it's another competition we'll be interested to watch because of Raptors involved in. You're not going to be having a Raptor in the dunk competition. Not going to be having a Raptor in the three-point shootout, but we'll have a Raptor in the shooting stars competition. That's right. That's right. Kareem's here. Good morning to Kareem. He's saying, I love how the Raptors game just leads right into the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't care about that. I won't be watching the Super Bowl. I won't care about that. The sports today is solely the 2 Raptors basketball games for me. Go Seahawks. I'll put my support behind Seattle to beat New England. I will do that. I will especially do that. But otherwise, I don't care. I'm not going to watch a single minute of it. I don't give a shit about that American football bullshit. But in some ways, I'll root for the Seahawks outside of it and not even paying attention to it. You know, I don't care. I didn't watch a single minute of NFL football this year, and I'm not going to do it even though the Super Bowl's today. So I don't give a shit about halftime. I don't give a shit about the commercials. None of this shit. It's just capitalist bullshit. And in some ways, the NFL can suck it, is what I would say right there. The NFL can suck it, but go Seahawks. I'll say that. My support is for the Seahawks. Let's see. Fiercey saying this. We're heading to the finals today. Woo, woo. Send us positive vibes, fam. I will watch the game and replay later as I'll be driving while the Raptors-Pacers game is on. See, Fiercey's busy being manager mom and making sure that Fiercey Jr., her basketball stuff is getting to. And she's got to do that stuff as the mom. So, yeah, fantastic. They're in the finals. Congratulations, Fiercey Jr. That's great achievement in itself. Well, let's get the job done. I have faith in y'all. Positive vibes and W's for Fiercey Jr.'s team today in the championship finals. That's right. Let's go, Fiercey Jr. Let's go. KT saying this, that open gym episode is what we all knew already in regards of getting under the cap and doing so by trading Oshai. What impressed me more was in his efficiency under the basket making layups. You're talking about, what are you talking about? What impressed me more is his efficiency under the basket making layups. Who are you talking about? Oshai? What are you talking about? I don't know. You may be missing something in there. Yeah, the open gym. Well, a lot of us already knew all this without him having to say any of this because we've been saying on the channel. It's just the general Raptors Nation needs education. That's just how it is. And open gym and press conferences where Bobby gets to speak, that's the best education for the Raptors Nation, is right there. So thank you for a great open gym. In some ways, it's an information open gym to teach the Raptors Nation a little bit more about how the Raptors front office works and how, some of it's not easy. Like we said, the relationships between teams. Bobby said in that episode, he's like, I've been involved in this league for 20 years now, and I have a lot of connections. I've been talking to people for a long, long time, and that's a strength for him in his office. The fact that he can call up different people from different teams and have some sort of rapport with them already is important. You got a new GM that you're starting over. They may not have any respect. It could be just like a coach, and the opportunities may be nil and void because it's like nobody knows you, bro. I don't know how to deal with you, but Bobby knows people, and that's important. It is a mover and a shaker kind of position, and established relationships and connections are extremely helpful in this job. It's tough to deal with people you don't know, and they could try and do shady shit. So that's another strength and a reason why we should covet Bobby Webster as our GM and head of basketball operations, because he's been in the game a long time and he knows a lot of people. And that's important. That is important. Getting a rookie GM is not a good idea. Even if it's a former player and he's known around the league, you don't want to replace that spot. So Raptors fans, shut up when you say shit like fire Bobby. You're fucking idiots. If you think that we need to fire Bobby, you're absolute dumbasses. And you're probably not really a fan of the Raptors. You're probably a wolf in sheep's clothing trying to come into our spaces and act like you're a fan. So don't listen to this shit. Bobby Webster is a fantastic GM. He's one of the best GMs in the league on the down low. The NBA won't tell you that because they don't want you to know that. They'd rather you come after him and say you want him fired. So, yeah, let's keep going. Fiercely saying Bobby Webster is keeping tabs on players. His interest is very, hang on, it jumped ahead. Smart. You can watch their evolution and stay alert on opportunities. Well, it's just like, I mean, it is smart, and I bet most teams do this. It's just that you have a coveted list. You have a list of guys that fit what you kind of want on your team, and you kind of like pay attention to the trends and what may be happening with them on the team they're on. And if things change and you get an opportunity, you jump on it. That's really what it is. And Trace was on his list for many years. This is somebody he's had on his list for a few years now, and well, it's come to fruition. It's like Bobby could see him in St. Catharines and not realize, you know what, you're going to get a chance to put him in a Raptors jersey down the road. Down the road. That's right. I think Jackson Davis is excited for the new opportunity here in Toronto to expand his game and what we're going to do with him. We'll have to see how he fits in the rotation and what happens with minutes and how much we actually get him out there. Of course, this is the thing, just like Murray-Boyles, if he shows real promise and real value, and what he does out on the court, he could be getting into the rotation in a strong chunk of minutes because of that. In some ways, that's why Colin is getting the start and why Colin's going to do all this stuff. It's just undeniable. He helps us win. And well, if Trace Jackson Davis has the same effect, he'll be hard pressed to keep out of the rotation also. It would be very tough to keep him out. And it may be Darko has a lot of tough problems because he doesn't know who to play because there's so many good choices. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, especially with Yak coming back all of a sudden. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how he distributes minutes and the rotation with the new addition of TJD. Yeah, and the return of Yak, man. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, Smooth saying his game is all inside, so let's hope Darko plays him, Jackson Davis. I mean, play him more. Yeah, speaking of players who have everything just inside, that's Moses Brown. Kareem Thomas asked a question on the Discord. Why is Moses Brown in the G League and not on an NBA team? Because he has major flaws as a player. He has major strengths as a player, but he has major flaws as a player also. He's not an NBA player. He's really, honestly, he's dangerous. He is very, very unsafe with his elbows. He could have gave concussions to Sar and Reese in these last two games, the way he hit them in the head with his elbows. Now, they were watching him for this because they saw it from the tape, and this was on the assignment for Kaz Beverly and Gina to call out because they were very quick to get after Moses when he put his arm anywhere near one of the Raptors 905's heads. As soon as he came up with that elbow into Julian Reese's face in the lane, that was an offensive foul, and Kaz Beverly went bam like that right down the court because they had the scouting report. When they came in to ref the game yesterday, they're like, all right, watch out for Elijah talking shit with the Kunjo and watch out for Moses Brown's elbows. And well, they refereed the game with that in mind. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because in some ways, both of those things are to make the game more safe. We don't want fisticuffs. We don't people getting tempers rising to the point where there's violence on the court. And we don't want Moses Brown knocking somebody out by accident because he's dangerous with his high-ass elbows. Yeah, that was something right there. All right, let me do the stars of the game real quick. because this was an issue yesterday with Moses Brown. But let's go ahead and do the stars of the game. I got 7 stars for the game yesterday. I was sitting right up close to the court, so I may go in depth on this a little bit and more than I usually do because I was right there with the game. My number 1 star of the game yesterday was David Roddy. David Roddy, this is interesting. Andrew Jones said after the game, he didn't call a single play for David Roddy yesterday. David Roddy is just going on his veteran guile, know-how, professionalism, fundamentals, and the way he plays. And you see David making threes. You see David making little turnaround mid-range shots, and you see him going the basket strong too with big body Roddy. Yeah, he was fantastic. There was a lot of times where we just needed scores, and David was aggressive, and he went and got them. Yeah, off the bench, Roddy, 29 minutes, 26 points on 9 of 11 shooting. That's fantastic. He has not shot the best this year, but this game he did yesterday, 4 of 6 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, a minus 12 for Roddy. The scoring was just amazing. 26 points by Roddy off the bench. And yeah, he's just a really good leader. I seen him on the court up close counseling Julian Reese, like teaching Julian in the middle of the game how to play in the NBA correctly, how to play in the G League correctly. And that's the thing. It's not just Andrew Jones and the coaches that are going over things with them. It's also the veteran players on the team like David Roddy, like Olivier Sarr, that are telling the younger players on our team how to be better players in real time. And I saw it right in front of me. I saw David take Julian Reese to the side, and he went over a couple things with him about how to play defense in the G League. So kudos to David Roddy, my number 1 star of the game in the G League game yesterday. My second star of the game yesterday is AJ Hogarth, the guy who got the chain. Of course, he got that steal I talked about earlier. But not just that, he was hooping. The thing I've learned about AJ Hogarth is he's an interesting hooper. Like he'll get in these drives down the lane and he'll make circus shots. He'll make crazy woo kind of shots, reverses, up and unders with contact and people all around him. It's circus shots. He makes these crazy baller circus shots. So kudos to AJ Hogarth, another team player off the bench as my second star. 20 minutes for AJ, 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting. He missed both the threes he took. He was 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, a -5. AJ's a real professional too. Like when he showed up to our team, he was buried on the bench and he didn't get to play at the beginning of the year. But with Chucky's injury, he got elevated to playing all the time now. And they asked him after the game, were you down at the beginning of the year because you were hardly playing? And AJ said this. He's like, man, I don't get down no matter what. I'm going to my happy place when I come here. In some ways, just being here and being in this arena and being on this team is enough for me because I am doing what I love. And, you know, if I'm not playing, well, I'm just going to enjoy and do the process and do the things I can do as a professional and hope that I get to play more. But you know what? Either way, I'm good, is what he said. So, AJ Hogarth, salute to you, man. And honestly, hearing you in the interview and hearing your voice and hearing how you talk, you're a good dude, man. And you've got a good head on your shoulders. You're a real professional. And I appreciate you, AJ Hogarth. I really do, man. Yeah, I really, really appreciate you. My third star of the game yesterday is Elijah. Elijah is a volcano. Elijah is tumultuous. Elijah is talking. He is talking. I can confirm this. I heard him. And like I said, he went at Gina yesterday, said, don't you know I'm the best player in the G League right now? I couldn't believe he said that, the audacity. And somebody's just like, I like that. He's like, tell the ref, you should respect me because I'm at the top of the field here in this league. Elijah's a gutsy, gritty player. He's not always going to make his shots, but he's in there fighting. And there's a lot of dog in him, in the little dog in the fight, near the basket on rebounds and doing all kinds of stuff. Like he's not scared to get that ball down underneath the basket and try and elevate with a very tall dude next to him and try. Maybe he's crazy trying to score over Moses Brown at your height, Elijah Martin. But alas, you're doing that shit. And some of it is successful. It's crazy. Elijah, 31 minutes, 18 points on 7 of 20 shooting, 3 of 9 from 3, 1 of 2 from free throw, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, +7. There was 1 3 that Elijah made right in front of me, and I knew he was going to make it. And I just like laid like this, like dead. And then he bombed and made it. It was so awesome, man. It was just really fun to be there at courtside. 4th star of the game, the other two-way, AJ Lawson. AJ Lawson is just a fantastic player. He's a real one for the city. I think I might have been sitting in front of his family And I think I was high-fiving them after the game because he kind of looked over at us at one point, and I think maybe his mom was sitting behind me. And when he made the shot, I high-fived her. It was awesome. We made that layup at the end of the game. I jumped out of my seat and I started high-fiving all the people around us. I think that they were family. I think that that was actually AJ's family. I'm not totally sure. I can't say for sure. It may have been a different player's family, though. But AJ, 30 minutes, 18 points, 6 of 15 shooting, 2 of 8 from 3, 2 of 3 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, -6. Yeah, Lawson's just out in there to win it. He's representing his country, his city, his team, and he loves being a Raptor 905. He just loves being the Raptors. That's childhood dream. Keep living that childhood dream, AJ Lawson. Keep living it, man. You're awesome. And there, I saw him talking very politely to the referees in the middle of the game, and he knows how to get that manner with them so that he gets some favor. So good job, AJ, all around. We love you, AJ Lawson. We love you, man. My 5th star of the game is Jonathan Mobo. Jonathan Mobo hit that big 3 that we just talked about. That was kind of out of the blue. You know, Jonathan's not been shooting threes as much as he did his rookie year this year. And in some ways, maybe it's partly because he's been discouraged, or maybe because he's just not playing in the Raptors as much recently that we're not seeing it. I'm really happy they sent him to 905 because in some ways they need him down there right now for help, but also the Raptors are getting healthy, and with Trace coming in and Jakob probably going to be back today or the next game, Jonathan's minutes are not going to be there, and he won't be needed as a break in case of emergency big either with Jackson Davis around now. So it could very well be that Mobo's playing heavy on the 905 just to keep him getting reps and getting development and going. And he's down there busting his butt, and he's doing the good stuff, man. I love what Jonathan's doing. 25 minutes, 11 points, 5 of 8 shooting. He hit that only 3. It's the only 3 he took. And man, it was a huge 3. It gave us the lead when we had been down. Like, this is the thing. Grand Rapids Gold was beating us most of the game. We had a bad deficit in the third quarter, and we had to make it up. And I was encouraging these guys. I was saying, you guys get the lead back. Go get the lead back. Go get the lead back is what I was saying to them when they be in earshot of me. And they did. They went and got it. And they closed the deal, and they got it done. This game's really weird, too, because after the first quarter, it was 31-31. The last quarter was 30-30. So they tied each other on both the first and the last quarter in points, 61 points each. It's in the middle of the game where the difference happened. And in the third quarter, the Grand Rapids Gold outscored us by 13, 38-25. But in the third quarter, the Raptors 905 dominated them in that quarter after the half, and we outscored them by 14. And that's the 1-point difference right there in the middle of the game, because the first and the fourth frames of the game were tied with them scoring-wise. In the middle, they won the second, we won the third. And we won the third by 14 points, and they won the second by 13 points. So it's really kind of amazing how close this game was. This was a very close game. In fact, we go look at the team stats after I'm finished with the players, and you'll see just how close it was. The 6th star of the game that I have, I'm going 7 stars, is Olivier. Olivier is impressing me more and more as the season goes on, whether it's with his 3-point shooting, whether it's with his effect on defense and rebounding that I should have gave more credit to, because when he was out, I saw the difference. And his grit and his professionalism, and like he has a certain energy to him. Sure, he's a little lackadaisical at sometimes, but he has a fieriness and a compete also that I've seen in recent games, partly because of Moses Brown, partly because of the interaction with him and Elijah Martin. And I appreciate him more and more as the season goes on. I think that Olivier is actually growing a lot as a player this year, and he has gotten better under Andrew Jones. I really do think that. 21 minutes for Olivier, 14 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 2 of 4 at the free throw line. He made those 2 free throws at the end. They were so important. 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, and 2 blocks, -8. Yeah, Sar making the threes is awesome. And like I said, he was the only answer for Moses Brown in any kind of way last night or yesterday. Nobody else was getting close to even trying to guard him in any kind of effective way other than Sar. The last star of the game is my buddy Jarkel Joyner. Oh, JJ, good job, man. I love you making shots right in front of me and me calling it out. Money, or it's in there or stuff like that. He's got it. And he turns around and he points at me. He's like, yeah, you got it, fan. And like on his way running back up the court. So Jarkel Joyner, you're one of my favorite players just because now that I've interacted with you twice at games, you've responded to me both times. And I love that. 29 minutes, 9 points for Jarkel, 4 of 9. He started off early, getting some of the early scores for us. There was some important shots he made at different times. 1 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, a +4 for JJ, Jarkel Joyner, the former College Park Skyhawk. Fantastic stuff. Going over the other guys who played, Julian Reese, honorable mention, 16 minutes, 6 points. He missed both his shots, but he made 3 free throws, 2 each for each point. 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and a steal. He had foul trouble. He kept getting fouls real quick, and they had to keep bringing him out. But Sar did too. Sar was in foul trouble too. They were getting a lot of fouls because of Moses. And the crazy thing was Moses Brown had 1 foul up until 5 minutes to go in the game. So that's a symptom right there that the ref crew was not calling it even between 905 and the goal yesterday. The fact that our guys had foul trouble the whole game, our bigs, and Moses Brown had 1 foul with like 5 minutes to go of the game. It is really one-sided like that. Julian Reese was the highest plus minus for us yesterday, +14. So maybe he did okay on Moses, more than I thought. Patrick McCaw came out and played in the court. I said, "What's up, champ?" And he was just out there running around, doing some defensive stuff for the game late in the game. He played in the 4th quarter, and he was really kind of being out there to harass ball handlers and try and get them to cough the ball up. 8 minutes for Pat, 1 rebound, and that's it. He was a +10, though. He didn't do jack shit but get 1 rebound. He had some effect on the game because they were a +10 while he was out there. Tyson Degenhart, okay. Nothing too special. He was low amounts. 18 minutes, 5 points, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, 1 steal, a -1. And Tyreek Key, very, very quiet, not doted on in any kind of way. The 2 ways are back up. In some ways, Tyreek is just an extra scorer off the bench. 14 minutes, 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 1 assist, a +3 for Tyreek Key. So that's pretty good. I cannot go without mentioning the fantastic career game of Moses Brown yesterday. He was very, very dominant. 37 points in 33 minutes, 16 of 21. A lot of those were monster dunks where he's just basically reaching up and throwing it down. 12 rebounds, 6 turnovers for Moses, though. 1 steal, 3 blocks, and even. And then the other 2 guys, Akinjo, 24 points on 10 and 23 shooting. He went off pretty crazy. He missed an important free throw late that really hurt them. Dane Goodwin, 21 points on 5 of 11. He wasn't missing for a while, and I was talking trash to him. You know, Moses Brown, almost all of his points were up close to the basket. And what Andrew Jones was employing to help with him in the second half, they got better results because, as Andrews put it, they had to rumble with him. And that's basically like Julian and Olivier and other Raptors like Roddy converging on Moses Brown when he gets the ball in the post and he tries to just dunk it on us. Well, we're going at him physically and throwing him off his spot and trying to mess him up, whether it's to mess him up to strip the ball so that it's on the floor and we're trying to take it from him, or we're trying to block him, or we're just trying to get in, interfere with him to the point where he misses the layup somehow, some way. But yeah, Moses Brown had some nasty dunks yesterday. Monster dunks, sick, nasty dunks. Really, really nasty dunks. I'll go ahead and do the team stats real quick and talk about how even it was. We actually shot worse than them from the field and still won. We did get more shot attempts than them. We made way more threes than them, which is a big difference. 14 threes for the 905, only 9 for the gold. Free throw shooting was pretty close. 17 free throws made for them. They got 4 more free throw shots than us. We had 14 free throws made. The rebounds exactly even, 41-41. That's what I'm saying right there. And Moses Brown is out there, and we still even them with the rebounds. That's a good accomplishment. Assist to turnover ratio, 28-18 for the Raptors 905, which is not the best. You know, they usually do better than that. That's not even 2-1. And, well, way better than them, 22 assists to 22 turnovers for the gold, an exact 1-1, which is really bad. Points in the paint, they beat us. That's really Moses Brown, 62-54. And they did call 30 fouls on the Raptors 905 to 23 for the other team. So they were biased in calling the fouls on us a lot. and I was letting them know, and so was Andrew too. Except he was letting them know in a little bit more aggressive, mad way. Man, he gets really mad. Like you hear him on the court when you're that close. You can hear Andrew Jones what he's saying to the refs. He is mad, and he says that's all that classic stuff. You can call it down there, you call it here. You're gonna do, he was straight up. He wouldn't foul. There was a challenge call, and he was successful. There was a play where they called a foul on Moses Brown, or it was Kessler Edwards. It was Kessler Edwards, and he came down the lane, and they called a foul on us, and it was really Kessler Edwards just lost the ball. Nobody touched him, and that was a good challenge call by Andrew Jones. Yeah, it's a good game, man. Just a lot of fun. I'm telling you, if you want to have a inexpensive, I mean, it's some expensive some people, but it's inexpensive for the value. It's a $120 ticket I went on yesterday, and I sat at courtside, right on the court. It's really, really fun, guys. You may never be able to afford a courtside ticket at a Raptors game, but you can afford a courtside ticket at a 905 game, and it is fun, y'all. And we had a good crowd too for a Saturday afternoon, a very, very good crowd. There's my overview of the box score for 905 and their victory yesterday. It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, let's keep going. Fiercely saying Bobby Webster keeping tabs on player. Oh, I already read that. Let's see. Jackson Davis, you mean him? You want him to be playing more? Okay, yeah. We'll have to see. He hasn't even played yet. We just have to see him first. Neil saying Pacers not trying to win. Zubac will rest. Pacers will be dangerous next season with Zubac starting and Huff being the backup. Huff is getting better with the extra minutes. I'm not going to say they're not trying to win. That's never the case. I think people talking about tanking and teams trying to lose on purpose is bullshit. I think that once again, the way that we need to describe this is teams just lose because they're not good enough. And it's not that they're not trying to win. Trust me, Rick Carlisle's coaching them today and talking to his team this morning about trying to win. So I think this is like tank terminology. You're saying they're not trying to win. Bullshit. Every single NBA team's trying to win every game, even if they're the lowly Pacers with one of the worst records in the league. Let's stop this mentality of like, oh, they're trying to lose. No, they're not. Rick Carlisle and Pascal Siakam will come with their best foot forward, and they will try to compete to their best ability. This is the NBA. And in some ways, nobody's trying not to win at this point, man. I hate that statement. It's stupid, man. This is not true anymore. Nobody's trying to lose anymore in this league. Adam Silver is outlawed tanking and trying to say they're not trying to win. Well, Zubac's not ready to show up because he had a baby and his ankle's hurt. That's not anything to do with whether they're trying to win or not. The guys who are going to show up are going to try and win. That's the NBA. If you're not, well, you shouldn't be in the league, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Reggie's saying buyout season going to be really busy. A lot of quality guys available. Yeah, it could be all quiet on the Western Front, though, also. That's the other side of it, though. The buyout season, that's not really a thing, man. There's just a couple of guys that get caught up in the buyout season and picked up. But I'll tell you, the majority of them don't, and their career's over. Did you know that? That's actually true. They'll buy out all these guys and see ya, you're done, Chris Paul. In some ways, that may be happening to our guy, Chris Boucher. So even though those guys are on a list, and it seems like these guys are going to be going places, there may not be places for them to go. And this is just one of the hidden ways that the NBA sheds players out of their league. So you look at that list, Reggie, and you look at who's realistic for being needed in the league anymore and who's actually going to get picked up. Because you could look at that list and be like, oh, look at all these guys. Yeah, well, half of them are going to be out of the league now, just so you know, because that's the way it works right there. Yeah, Smooth saying this. Sacramento is not buying out any of their guys, though. Wow. Yeah, I don't care. In some ways, it's like they said something about DeMar. I kind of wish they had bought out DeMar, but they're not going to. In some ways, I don't know. Maybe it's best for them financially not to do that. Maybe they need them to have bodies to play the season. Maybe that's part of it, too, right there. Probably they injured with their guys and they said no. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not Kings freak. I don't give a shit about what they're doing with their team. Go Fiercey. Go Fiercey. Yeah, go Fiercey Jr. That's right. We want to see Fiercey do well. Let's see. Fiercey's high-fiving. Burns is here. Good morning, Burns. Are the Raptors pursuing Cam Thomas? No, we are not. I don't think so. I don't think the Raptors open roster spot is, I think, Shamshay's. I really do think it's Shamshay's. I'm starting to believe this more and more. The fact that Alrich Shamshay is still around Toronto right now after all this time, where he could have left, it's so fucking cold. It says a lot. And the fact that we've had an open roster spot this whole entire year that we have not filled, I think that's just his seat reserved. If they fill that spot soon with a buyout candidate, okay, that'll be interesting to see. I don't see why we need Cam Thomas. I'm not interested in him. What do we want the garbage from the Nets? Seriously. They weren't valuing him on the Nets. That's a red flag right there. The Nets are one of the worst teams in the league, at the bottom of the league. Why do Raptors fans get enthralled with the garbage of other teams, is what I'm saying. We don't need Cam Thomas. In some ways, he's a one-dimensional player that just plays offense. He doesn't offer anything on defense. Is he a passer? Is he a very good passer? Because that's a prerequisite to be on the Raptors at this point. We've let go of quite a few guys in the last couple of years of Darko because they don't fit the way that Darko plays. Is he a selfish player? Is Cam Thomas the kind of player that needs to shoot more than he's going to pass? He's not going to get in the door. So I don't think I think that Raptors fans, they see a name that's available, all of a sudden let's get him. Half of this shit ain't realistic. Half of this shit is not needed. It's just we want a new player on the team. I don't think they're interested in Cam Thomas. But we'll say this because this is the way we should say it. Bobby Webster's going to inquire about all opportunities, whether that's smoke or fire. It's usually going to be nothing. And it's just the job of the GM to do diligently go and look for every opportunity and see what's possible. Doesn't mean it's for real. Doesn't mean he's serious. It's like he could call the Nets or something like that, or say, I guess it's not the Nets because he's bought out, is call the agent of Cam Thomas and see what it is. How much money do you want, Cam? I want $5 million for the rest of this year. Oh, well, that's way over our cap room. We can't do that. That's probably what it is right there. We can suss this out, Burns. Good morning to you, man. Good to see you back in the chat. And thanks for the subscription. Yeah, he's probably too much. He's not needed. What are his skills that we need? We need a scorer off the bench. That's what his skill is, right? We have those guys. They just need to start making the shots. Yeah, Neil's saying Cam ain't right. Yeah, Cam ain't right. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I don't think they are pursuing him. They're not persuading him. I don't think they're doing either. Blackhawks saying return of the yak. Return of the yak. Return of the yak. And then on the damn the bed. Gonna get the block up. Gonna get the Austrian Warhammer. Gonna get on down the court. And you're gonna get to see. Because there's a return of the yak. Yeah. Mark Morrison. Yeah. Return of the yak. Is it all gonna be? That's right. Kareem saying, my bad. I was talking about Bobby Webster's efficiency on the basket, making layups. That's what you're talking about? Bobby did used to play, but he was a guard. I think he was outside shooting. Burns is saying there was another player that the Raptors were interested in free agency. There's tons of players. There's interest, but it doesn't mean there ain't no realness or legs to it or gonna happen. There's so many trade rumors. And it's all bullshit. In some ways, you guys should be saying Shams is a sham. Jake Fisher's just fishing. Mark Stein, what are you saying? I used to respect you, but I don't believe you anymore because you've been boy who cried wolf too much. I don't believe any of this shit until it just happens. Trade rumors, trade talk, trade all this shit. That's why I don't like doing this on this channel because there's so much of it is absolute horse crap. Most of it is horse crap. Why do we waste our time every day worrying about this or talking about this, Raptors Nation? Let's let Bobby do his job and we'll react to what he does instead of speculating ahead of what he does. Just let him do his job. And we got a new player named Trace Jackson Davis. Is that not enough, Burns? We got a new player to check out today. We got a player, Jackson Davis. Let's watch him play the son of Dale Davis in the Raptors jersey. That is your new spot. We ain't looking around everywhere. I'm not looking at my neighbor's house and saying, I got to get what my neighbor has. No, I got my own thing going at my house. And it's different, my house. And I don't need what other people got. That's right. I'll just take care of myself. And the Raptors, we don't need to do this, Raptors fans. Oh, Cam Thomas. Ooh, Cam Thomas. No, we don't need Cam Thomas. Think about it logically. How much does he add that RJ Barrett already gives to us? We don't need Cam Thomas, man. Let's see. Fiercely saying Cam Thomas is an offensive machine, but also a huge defensive liability. No thanks. There you go. That's an educated Raptors freak right there. It's like, look at the whole package. Go ahead and be dazzled with scoring. That's not the whole thing in the NBA. So many fans think scoring is everything. Fuck that. We need two-way players. And if Cam Thomas don't play no defense, he ain't getting a Raptors jersey, is what I'm saying right here. That's right. That's right. Kareem's saying, fiercely, I miss driving my kids all around Southern Ontario for basketball tournaments. I got really hard when my son had a tournament in Hamilton and my daughter had a tournament in Markham. The Mississauga Monarchs drove me and my wife crazy for like 8 years. Why didn't y'all split up and go, and one of y'all go to one game and the other one go to the other game? That's what you got to do, right? You send the missus with one of them and you send yourself with the other one. And you get it done that way, right? I think my brother does this with his wife as far as with their kids, because this happens too. Because both their kids are very involved in athletics and sports. My nephew's always playing something. He's got a season 365 days a year. And then my niece is doing gymnastics and diving and all kinds of other sports herself. So they get into these issues, my brother and his wife. So my parents end up helping and going to games and being there for some of them too to help out with that. Yeah. Yeah. That's good problems, I guess. You got a lot of games, you got to go to them. That's right. Trevor's saying Lakers signed Kobe Buffkin to a 2-year contract. Non-news. Who cares? Kareem saying, so what I know about TJD is that he will bait the ball handler on the entry pass to who he is guarding. Once the ball handler lets the ball go, he jumps at it like an interception. Yeah, I like the sound of that. That's defensive chops. That's defensive telegraphing. And, I love the blocks that I see in his highlights. His shot blocking ability is very good. And rim protection and defense were one of the most premium things I wanted in the new backup big. And he seems like he's got that. This once again, Bobby has a laundry list of things that he's looking for, that he's shopping for, a grocery list. And if he can check most of those check marks off with one move, that's the best thing. And I think he did. He got it under the money the right way. He got a young guy in the right age bracket. He got a young guy that has a lot of potential still. You got a guy who's shown really good chops in the NBA. It's just he's in a place that doesn't fit, and they were willing to move on from him. So he was opportunist on that to get him at good value. Yeah, there's a lot to like here. And what were the needs as a basketball skills? Rim protector, shot blocker, lob threat, rebounder, clog up the lane, just a big body, somebody who can be physical, maybe get some fouls if we need some physicality in the game to stop some people. I think he checked most of those checks off with this acquiring. So that's fantastic. That's fantastic right there in so many different ways, man. I'm really, really excited about this, man. I'm really excited about seeing him play today. Reggie's saying Cam Thomas is a shooter, though, gives the Raptors something they lack. Yeah, you're insulting Grady. Just let Grady wake back up and Jacoby. You're going to say they lack shooters? Fuck that. Fuck that, Reggie. They don't lack shooters. They just aren't hitting their shots right now. Jamison Battle, Grady Dick. Jacoby Walter gets his every once in a while. IQ's hitting his shot. RJ Barrett's hitting his shot most of the time. So let's not denigrate our team unnecessarily. We need shooters. Fuck that. We don't need Cam Thomas to the point of that. Fuck that, man. I'm sick of this. I think he might be looking for a team that will be able to give more time on the floor, though. Yeah, fuck that. We're not trying to cater to Cam Thomas. Once again, y'all trying to do things. I care about Cam Thomas's needs. I don't give a shit about Cam Thomas's needs. Fuck Cam Thomas. He should not be a Raptor. All right, let's go. Wayne's saying this. What did I miss? Raptor Freaks is an essential part of my mornings. Good morning to you, Wayne. Sergeant at Arms. Good to see you, my guy. If Pirtle is back before season break, that's fantastic. That will set him up season for push to consolidate the fourth spot. Blessings. Yeah, he may be back today, Wayne. There's a good chance he might be playing today. I won't get my hopes up completely. I almost put Pirtle in the picture for today's game, but I didn't want to jinx it. In some ways, if he doesn't play today, they're saying he's going to play on Wednesday for sure. So he should be returning before the All-Star break. That's what they said, but there can be setbacks, and we need to be ready for that possibly, and being sad about, they teased us. I hope that he does come back today. I hope he comes back today and he gets to play against his buddy Siakam. That's right. I hope that's what happens. KT saying this. There's a reason Brooklyn has him on limited minutes. He's not exactly a team player, but great for fantasy basketball. I'm speaking of Cam Thomas. Yeah, he's not a player I've ever coveted or liked. I think that people see his scoring prowess at times and like, oh, he's so good. That motherfucker's one-dimensional. And y'all fooling for that. Man, there's so many people that can go get 30 or 40 in the NBA. That's not a skill. Can you play an all-around game like Scotty Barnes? That's a fucking skill. So one-dimensional player like Cam Thomas is not somebody I've coveted or ever wanted on this team. And the infatuation with him on the buyout market right now is stupid. Bobby just cut our money down. Why is he going to spend money on a guy who's going to probably ask for too much money and doesn't fit on our team, honestly? I don't think he fits on our team because he doesn't fit what Darko wants. He doesn't fit what Darko wants. You guys got to understand, we have a profile now, and you have to be an unselfish player that's willing to pass the ball around. That's why Gary Trent Jr. ain't on the Raptors right now. That's why Siakam isn't on the Raptors right now, because these guys are shooters. They don't like to pass as much as shoot. And Chris Boucher is not the best passer either. And that's why he is on the buyout market right now too. So it's like, get with the program. Pay attention, Raptors fans. Darko's building this team with passers all around, guys that are unselfish and they pass the ball around because that is essential for his offense to work. You add Cam Thomas to the team, is he going to be one of these guys that passes the ball all over the place? No, he's going to get the ball and he's going to shoot it every time he touches it. So let's think about this realistically, Raptors fans. Does this make any sense? No, it doesn't. And in some ways, he's an undersized shooting guard to me that just has a very good scoring talent. These guys are a dime a dozen. There's a ton of these guys in the G League. There's a ton of these guys like Cam Thomas in the G League. Same guy. Jarkel Joyner's not that far off from Cam Thomas, y'all. Let's just put it that way. Fiercely saying this. Oh, Kareem, I hear you, but the memories of the games you can attend somewhat make up for it. Sorry for cross-talking. It's all right. You guys, it's cool. It's cool. Fiercely saying, Lex, in your honest opinion, watching Sarr's evolution from beginning of the season to now, do you believe he could be promoted to the main roster next year? Could he be our Shamshe replacement? No, because he has a ceiling, and he's like 26. He's older. He's not a young guy. He's been around the NBA for like 3 or 4 years already, and he's had his chances to try and play in NBA games. He did in Oklahoma City. He was on the Thunder for a little while, and he got into games here and there. But he's just the weird thing with him is he's more better shooter outside than inside, which is weird, right? In some ways, that's a plus. The other thing is he's not totally a good defender. He's tall and he can get in the way, and he was helpful against Moses Brown yesterday, but he gets burned by most NBA players. So there's a couple of issues I have with him. In some ways, he's very tall and talented, but he's not skilled. That's part of the problem too. And that's a similar problem with Moses Brown, why he's not in the NBA. He's very tall and talented, but they're not totally skilled as players. There's holes in their games in certain ways. No, Sarr's not a future Raptor. He's not. I'll say that. Julian Reese is, though, because he's old, he's younger, and he's got a lot of potential to grow into. Sarr, in some ways, I don't know how much more different he's going to get than what he is right now. And what he is right now is not an NBA player. So, yeah, no, this is not going to happen. He's definitely not a Shamshe replacement. I mean, Reese is more like that because he's that kind of stud. But no, man, don't get it twisted. Shamshe is on a whole other level of potential and blue chipness as far as his skills, his athleticism, his strength, his size, his speed up and down the court. He is like Giannis. He is the same body as Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's why, don't frivolously say this is going to be the next Shamshe. That's hard to do. Shamshe is a whole other level of blue chipper that in some ways it's like, man, we need him back. We really do. Reggie's saying Thomas was freelancing a lot with Brooklyn, and there was big discrepancy with what he thinks he's worth and what the Nets thought he's valued. Yeah, that's another red flag right there. The bro thinks he's bigger than he is, and he's probably asking for way more than he's worth. So, yeah, I ain't been with that. Your comp with him is Mike James. That's a good one. Yeah, Amityville Horror, the leading scorer for the Raptors one season. That's a good comp for him. I think that those guys are very similar. I think that's about right. Isaac's saying this. Can we adopt Dirk as Raptors alumni? What? Why are you saying that? Let me see. Where's Isaac? All right. I heard he is upset about the Mavs trading AD and no doubt wasting Cooper Flagg's future before it ever started. Yeah, I don't care about Maverick stuff. Dirk Nowitzki's a Maverick. He's probably the greatest Maverick ever in the history of that franchise. And no, why are you asking this? He's not a Raptors alumni. This is a weird question. My autism saying does not compute, Isaac. Has no sense in this. There's no pattern that makes sense in what you're saying. Trevor's saying Brandon Ingram inspired Bear Brick. Did y'all see it? Bear Brick? I don't even know what that fucking is. Bear Brick? I don't know what that is. I did see a clip of Brandon at OVO Center in the last couple of days with his girlfriend, Glorilla. and he is training her for the celebrity game. It's so crazy, man. He's in the OVO and she's taking shots, and she's making a couple layups here. She made like a free throw shot. She's got okay like hoop skills for being a hip hop artist, a female hip hop artist. They're okay. I'd like to see her score some in the game on the celebrity game. But Brandon, at the end of the workout, kind of said you weren't focused. You weren't focused in what you're doing, but it's okay. And Glorilla's like, I worked so hard today, and talking in the clip, but she has her makeup perfect and she doesn't look like she broke a sweat. And I'm kind of like, okay, this is just a photo op. You came out there, you laid up a couple things, acted like your boyfriend's training you, and now you're saying like, oh, I feel much better about trying out. And like Brandon's giving it away. You weren't focused. You weren't focused. Oh, that shit's funny, man. It's so funny, man. I hope she does awesome. Glorilla, you seem like such a nice lady and just like a down to earth, cool person. So I wish you well. Blessings to Brandon and Glorilla. So he's saying Pat Connaughton would be a good fit as well. A vet shooter. Fuck this, Reggie. Stop. Reggie, the trade deadline's over. We're not doing buyout market either. Seriously, I'm sick of this shit. We are good. Stop looking for the next person. Y'all gotta stop this behavior. We're done with the trade deadline. I don't want old ass Pat Connaughton scraps from the Charlotte Hornets. Do you hear what I'm saying? He's not good enough to be on the Hornets right now. Why the fuck do we want him on the Raptors? Seriously. Straight goods on Canadian goods, because I need to cool off, because I'm sick of this. I was like looking forward to 3 p.m. on Thursday so this kind of shit would stop, Reggie. Seriously. Ice River Green Bottle. This is a water company here in Canada that it's really important to them that they use recycled plastic for their bottles. The green on this bottle is all former recycled. They recycle this to the next one. And that's what we need more of. There's so many bottled water companies that are bad for the environment with their plastic, but we have one up here in Canadian that's straight up Canadian called Ice River Green Bottle. It's natural spring water from Canada. There's the Canada thing, and it's very, very green eco company. Like, I don't like buying bottles of water like this because I'm like, this isn't good for the environment, but this company is, because they are recycling all this plastic, and they're getting all their plastic for making these bottles is from the recycling plastic. So kudos to Ice River Green Bottle. If you need bottled water, this is your brand. Fuck all the American companies, Zephyr Hills, Nestle, all that bullshit. Get this bottled water. If you can get this in Canada, get it. And I'm going to cool off real quick. That's the straight goods on Canadian goods. This is like one of the most green, award-winning companies in Canada right now. So support Ice River. That's right. That's right. Kareem's saying this. Lex, I hear you about teams not tanking, but Utah Jazz just benched their starters in the fourth quarter, allowing the Magic to erase a 17-point lead. It's actually blatant. They need to be investigated. I didn't hear about that. If they did that, yeah, I think you're right. They should be investigated for that, because that is something that teams should not be trying to do, is trying to lose on purpose. If you're not good enough and you just lose, well, that's different. And that's something the Raptors have done the last couple of years. We have not been good enough to win, and there have been times where we lost. And maybe we could have been better because of roster moves or acquiring someone, but we didn't, and we just went that way. You got to make it look better, Utah. If you did it so blatantly, you deserve to be punished. Seriously, that's what I say right there. Smooth saying Pat could be this team, what Steve Novak was the 2013 team. You're just trolling now. You're just fucking trolling, bro. We don't need no Steve Novak. What the fuck is this? Like Steve Novak was anything for the Raptors. He was basically in the deal for Bargnani, and that's it. Who gives a shit? What did Steve Novak do for the Toronto Raptors? No, what he does for the Toronto Raptors, what we need, that guy who's doing that is supposed to be Jameson or Grady. Steve Novak, Jason Capono, Matt Thomas, that's supposed to be Grady and Battle. Those guys are supposed to be that, not old-ass Pat Connaughton, who's needing to retire at this point. Fuck this shit. Why do you want the scraps from other teams, Reggie? And are you trolling me right now? Man, are you trolling me? Seriously, this team reminds me of that group. This team is nothing like that sorry-ass team that Steve Novak was on. We were not that good at that time. It was early DeMar and Kyle. and we weren't as good at that point. When Steve Novak was on our team, we weren't winning that much. So I don't understand. Man, Reggie, you're crazy in some ways. What you're saying, you got that was unfortunate. The misclick earlier this week, and that was totally an accident. But man, why do you talk all this crazy shit, man? Seriously. Here's just saying, I asked you the question not knowing you would opine on Shamshay. Yes, Shamshay is still lingering. He's still around. And in some ways, I hope he's still going to be a Raptor when they clear him to play finally, because he should be. We have rights to him. We spent $1 million to get him. So he should be having rights to him, is what I'm saying right now. All right, let's see. Isaac's saying ankle injuries can really linger. I wish IQ good health. I say we get AJ on the big team to help Jamal and company. Not today, though. I mean, I'll go look. Let's go look at Blue Skies and see what Blake Murphy's saying about who's where and what. Who's where and what. Let me see if there is anything on here right now. There looks like there's a lot of garbage on here. I think that okay, here's what he's saying. He's not saying anything about the two ways right now as far as where they are. I'm going to say this. It's very likely that the two ways are just going to be down with Andrew Jones and playing in Mississauga, not with the Raptors today. So I don't expect AJ Lawson and Elijah Martin to be at Scotiabank Arena today. I think that they're going to continue with them and the good things that are going on in the 905, especially because Trace is showing up and Jakob could be healthy. The minutes may not be there for AJ and Elijah like you think they would be right here. It may depend on whether IQ is out. Isaac, let's not make this worse than it is. It could very well be as a little tweak, and IQ is fine. You're saying can really linger? Fuck that. Don't speak that into existence. That bullshit right there. Come on now. Neil's saying this. IQ gets to do his spots. Once Grady gets his spots worked out without pressure, then he will break out. The whole problem with Grady is he gets open shots and he's not executing them. He's getting the open shots, he's getting the open spots, but his shot is off and it doesn't go in. That's the biggest problem with him. He should be automatic. If he's going to be the person he's supposed to be, his three-point shots, once again, should go in like free throws. That's all the great three-point shooters in the history of the NBA. They shoot threes like they're free throws. And Grady's not doing that this year. And that's an issue. And that has been part of the problem with the shooting for the team. It has been part of the problem for sure. Fiercely likes the return of the Yak parody. It was pretty good. I like that too. Blackhawk saying, I would prefer companies go back to glass bottles. Why? I don't know. Maybe you're right. There's too much plastic in the world. But if there's already a certain amount of plastic in the world, instead of it sitting in a dump, going somewhere, we need to mold it into something new. I think what we should do is limit the amount of new plastic that's being made in this world. That we should accept there's a certain amount of plastic we've already made in this world, but we need to use the already made plastic better. We need to go back into the landfills, get all the plastic out of it, and reform it and reuse it and repurpose it. And we have to stop making technology that is obsolete or breaks within years so that people have to keep buying the same shit and all this stuff goes to landfills. This is one of the biggest problems with the world today is how much disposable plastic is being made. So I don't know. Maybe that's an okay idea, Neil. More bottles that are glass instead of plastic. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I get it. Trevor's saying 400 ICE agents 4,500 ICE agents' names and photographs were leaked, so they all have them panicking for their lives. Okay, Trevor, I didn't ask for any politics today. I don't want to do politics. I don't give a shit about this. This is good news, but in some ways, don't introduce this if we're not doing politics. I don't want to start politics because you'll key me off and I'll fucking talk for half an hour on the America and their bullshit. I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. If there's a really good reason to do it, this is not a good reason to do it. This is not important news to this channel. And in some ways, I'm glad about it, but I don't want this introduced just out of the blue. If we're talking strictly basketball, let's stay on basketball. The old days of me going off on political detours are going to be limited now. I'm not trying to do this every day. In some ways, I'd like to have maybe 5 or 6 of the days of the week where I don't talk any politics at all for the whole stream, and maybe just one day a week where I go off on politics, okay? I don't want to never do it. I will still do it, but I don't want, if we're going on a stream where we haven't talked politics at all, I don't want to introduce, especially later in the stream. Blackhawks saying Grady is taking his shots from all over. Yes, they are open, but he needs to build from what he practices. Okay. Is this just a roundabout way of saying nothing, Neil? Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Lex, I may have missed it. Can you explain what Martin was saying to Sar when he was yelling at him? Did you pick it up? Yeah, I didn't hear it exactly, but I did see it in front of me because it was at the other end of the court from me. And it basically was there was some sort of mix up and communication, and Sar didn't like what Elijah did, and he kind of came at him with a gruff, kind of stern, kind of uh, uh, way. And Elijah didn't back down. He was kind of came at him with the same energy. Some of that should have happened behind the scenes, but Andrew Jones had no problem with it. It's a veteran keeping a rookie in line is basically what happened there. Sar was informing Elijah about what he should have done correctly, and Elijah in some ways bowed up to him and said, well, I wasn't all this stuff. It was Elijah's fault, and he should have been listening to Olivier. And after the game, Andrew Jones said, I like my veterans being there just like me and disciplining and holding everybody accountable. It's not disciplining, but holding people accountable. And that's what Andrew Jones said. He was just happy that Olivier cares enough and they're competitive enough, that they're fired up enough, but there's no problems between them. Because as I pointed out earlier, Elijah Martin dumped off a pass to Olivier Sarr at the end of the game for a layup that helped us win the game. So it's not like it got in the way of their chemistry. It's not like they hate each other. It's just in that moment, there was a miscommunication and there was a problem. And Olivier very emphatically was telling him something, and Elijah and him were kind of butting heads a little bit. There's been this kind of stuff in the NBA with players lately where there is communication on court and it looks way worse than it actually is. You know, these guys are in the heat of the battle. They're top level athletes. They're going to be very competitive and they're going to be very, maybe sometimes a little fierce. Let's just put it that way. I think that was a big part of it right there. But there's no problem with these guys. They were completely fine. And Andrew Jones didn't have to talk to them about it or anything. He's like, this is all normal stuff for a basketball team. This is normal stuff. So yeah, Neil's saying microplastics are more harmful in this world. You never hear about microplastics in the ocean. Glass is easier to recycle. Yeah, I'm not against you on this. I'm not against you on this. I think that the difference is that glass is more expensive than plastic. And we know in the world of capitalism, the cheapest way to do it and not even worrying about the environmental degradation is the way that these profit hungry parasites do things. And that's why we have a problem with microplastics. And that's probably why we're not on glass at this point, because it is more expensive, probably. That's it. You make it more cheap to do glass, Neil, you probably solve the problem. Just like with the renewable energies, it's going to come because it's more cheaper to do renewable than gas. And more as people realize that, that's what's going to kill the fossil fuel industry, is that it's going to be way more, it makes more sense financially and money wise to pivot to renewables. But unfortunately, our government takes money from the fossil fuel industry and they're still establishing infrastructure for the future in that industry, which is stupid because the rest of the world isn't. And we're going to just pay a bunch of taxpayer money towards projects for energy that is not going to be utilized by most of the world soon, but will be archaic and stupid here. Yeah, we don't need to be like the States on this. And we got to stop kissing the ass of the fossil fuel lobby. Seriously. That's where I'm at on that. And in some ways, that's pivoting away from plastic is doing that, because plastic is involved in the fossil fuel industry. And Neil's idea to get more on glass, well, that would be against the fossil fuel industry, which is good. Yeah, Wayne's saying, I'm convinced that my Raptor Freaks fellow contributors just love to opine on potentials, regardless of any actual analysis. If we just win the chip, they would just be suggesting who to get next year. Yeah, I'm sick of this. Why can't we stay present? Why can't we just stay with who we got and just enjoy that instead of keep looking to the outside and trying to say, who's the next person? Who's the next person? I'm just sick of this. It's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah. Infamous saying Sarr is getting better. I like to see that. Yeah, he is getting better. He's got more confidence. He's a little bit more fiery at this point for sure. In the beginning, he was kind of a pushover and really easy to score on, and he just drove me crazy. I was like, man, you got all this height and you got this somewhat of talent, and you're sleeping on your life, bro. So maybe he woke up a bit. Maybe Andrew Jones has lit a fire under him. Maybe that's part of it. Neil's saying, I stopped buying plastic food containers years ago, strictly glass for me, and it's much cleaner, which is better for your health. Yep, that's all true. That's all true. Neil, in some ways, this is a diversion or a detour I didn't want to do either. Because this is a long stream. I still got stuff to do. Let's see. What's my next tab? We did the stars of the game. We did the Instagram. Let's see. I did that. All right. Maybe we are close to being done. This is interesting. Raptors Reddit. Do I dare look at it? Do I dare look at Raptors Reddit? Is there anything egregious or crazy I want to write in here or talk about? Okay, no, that's not important. There's the Glorilla practice session. Okay, this is stupid. This is 5 days ago. Somebody wanted to get Jared Allen from Cleveland because there was a rumor that they were shopping Jared Allen. Oh my gosh, Raptors fans are so unrealistic. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Yeah, Raptors Reddit's useless right now. It's absolutely useless. All right, there's no birthday today, unfortunately. Get your lineup set for your fantasy teams. I'm in the last day against Jason. He's gonna beat me. I don't think I'm gonna beat him today. I think Jason Dukes is gonna hand me my next loss in fantasy. So good job to Jay Dukes. Jay Dukes. All right, let's get this classic card, man. You're saying virtual hug, brother. All right, hug. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know, man. I'm feisty. I had a good time at the game yesterday. And seriously, I'm sick of the trade deadline. I'm sick of speculation about moves. And in some ways, it's like, can we get a rest at this point? We got our team. We know who we got. And in some ways, if there's like 10-day contracts or little things like converting two ways or stuff like that, that'll happen. But it's nothing going to be like, there's no major move coming. I don't think we're going to do hardly anything on the buyout market. So it's just like, let's just concentrate on the guys we have in the fold. Let's see the debut of TJ and let's have Jakob come back and let's enjoy the Raptors season. How about that? Let's enjoy the basketball and not the GMing. All right, here is the card of the day. I'm going to see if you guys can get it. First person to write the full name answer will get it. This guy's that guy looks like Koloko, doesn't he? He looks like Koloko. That's not Koloko, just so y'all know. That is not Christian Koloko. But he kind of looks like Christian Koloko, doesn't he? That's right. Neil's saying, I'm actually praying for Glorilla. Scams like some of her family is turning on her because of money. Toronto's a good escape for her. That happens. More money, more problems. Your family starts looking at you as like a bank and not really as a person anymore. Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of that. In some ways, that's like 2 degrees too far out of my caring. It's like, all right, first of all, she's a girlfriend of a player. And second of all, that's her personal business. And in some ways, I don't cover that on my channel. I'm not trying to be in the personal lives of the players unless they reveal their personal lives and they are putting them on blast on social media because they want to talk about it. There's issues with Glorilla and her family. That's none of my business. It's none of my business. I know the lines to cross and not to cross. There's lines that I follow. There's some lines I don't want to get into. And that's one of them. In some ways, that's none of my business, whatever's going on with Glorilla and her family. That's none of my business. Slug Deezy got the card. It is the twin brother of Horace Grant, Harvey Grant. That's right. Harvey, number 44 for the Washington Bullets. He does kind of look like Koloko a little bit, right? In the face. Just a little bit. Yeah, Harvey was the lesser known twin, of course, but he did have some solid years. Look, he was averaging 18 points for the Bullets in 1991. So that's not bad. That's pretty admirable right there. So Harvey Grant is the card of the day. Slug Deezy, the king of the classic card, wins once again, getting the classic card. That's a 2-day streak for him with Drazen Petrovic yesterday. And, I think this is about the same as Drazen. I'm going to give you 100 points for this one because he's fairly well known just because he looks like Horace. But, yeah, he's not exactly. All right, so 100 points for Slug Deezy on the classic card. He's creeping up. He's actually in number 2 on our Raptor Freak trivia standings. He's number 2. Info is saying some Raptors fans are like the guy who has a good woman at home, but is still lusting after another woman. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't know if it's that exactly. Maybe that's a good analogy. I don't know. I'm like, why can't you just be happy and just sit on what we got? Why is there such a need to go look for the next so much? Like, seriously, what is this? Like, seriously. Enjoy your team. Stand with your team. In some ways, the movement is not good for teams. Everybody wants movement all the time for basketball teams. It's not good, especially if your team's in a good place with nucleus and chemistry. Moving people is not good. You know, Grady's heart was broken a little bit this week because Abaji's gone. But at least Abaji's got Jalen Wilson, his Jayhawk teammates, on the other side waiting for him in Brooklyn. Of course, Abaji has not made his Nets debut yet. I was thinking he might play last night, but he didn't. He hasn't gotten to play for the Nets yet. We'll have to see. Yeah, Neil's saying her family attacking her in the news to make it public business. It's research without substance. It's honestly not in my field of what I care about. Like, once again, I'll tell you right now, if it was Brandon directly, maybe. But even then, I'm not trying to put Brandon's family business out there, him and his dad, Donald. No, I'm not trying to do that. And in some ways, this is their family business. So, out of respect for Brandon Ingram and Glorilla, I have nothing to say about this. Because, first of all, even if it's publicly out there because they're putting it publicly out there to help, to hurt her, well, I'm definitely not going to engage in this then, Neil. Seriously. So, there's just some stuff that should be off limits. And unless a player wants to put their child in the public eye, I'm not going to talk about their children. I'm not going to talk about this or that. I didn't know Scotty had a kid until they said he had a kid. I didn't care until they told the name and they showed her. In some ways, that's none of my business. If Scotty wants to reveal his child to the world, then we'll talk about it. But if he had a secret child that I never saw ever, I would not want to care about talking about it because that's his right to keep his family private. This is not Raptors news. Any issues with Glorilla and her family, I don't give a shit about it. I wish her well. I hope that she has sanity and good things in her life. But in some ways, this is not my business to talk about. This is not TMZ. Okay? This is not TMZ. This is why you pray for her because it's unnecessary. Well, this is unnecessary to bring up because you perpetuate the whole thing more by bringing it up. I wasn't even aware of this. I don't care about this. This is not useful or information or any kind of way. If Brandon's given her a safe haven in Toronto to be away from toxicness, that's fantastic. And in some ways, it's none of my fucking business, is what my point is right here. I got to get done, man. These games are coming fast. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. This afternoon, the Raptors 905 and the Raptors are playing. The injury report for the Raptors is as such. Jakob Poeltl and Emmanuel Quickley are questionable. They could both play. That's the thing. Yak could be playing today. Chucky Hepburn is out. Trace Jackson Davis will make his Raptors debut today, so we will see him on the court. It's likely that the two ways are in Mississauga, Elijah Martin and AJ Lawson, and Jonathan probably maybe even been with Mississauga still, playing with the 905 today because they'll actually get minutes there and not with the Raptors. And the games are at the same time, so there's no double duty opportunities. They really do have to figure out if they're diverting J-Mo and the two ways to Jones or to Darko. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be with Jones because they're needed more on Jones's team, and Darko's team is getting healthier. So I think that's where it's going to be. The referees tonight, first of all, for the G League game, Marcy Williams, Gina Catanzariti, and Julian McFadden at Paramount. And the replay center, Courtney Kirkland and Simone Jelks. And on the ground for the Raptors against the Pacers, Pat Frayer is the crew chief. He favors the Pacers. Carl Lane is the referee. He favors the Raptors. And J.D. Rawls is the umpire. He favors the Pacers. Alas, I still think this is a pretty good ref crew. And that just like the Bulls game, even if Murat Kugat is there, it does not mean the referees will be able to manipulate the game in the favor of the other team against us. So take care of your business. It's the NBA. Be professional. And don't take anybody lightly. It's Coach Carlisle and Pascal Siakam. And even if their record says otherwise, go to this game professionally, Scotty and Brandon, and take it over and win it and just get that W. Make sure you bank that W is what I'm saying. So, yeah. It's going to be exciting. Great game yesterday for the Raptors 905. I had 7 stars of the game in attendance at the game, and they were David Roddy, A.J. Hogarth, Elijah Martin, A.J. Lawson, Jonathan Mobo, Olivier Sarr, and Jarkel Joyner. All right, y'all. I hope you get to do double duty just like me and watch both games at the same time. 2 p.m. start for Motor City Cruise versus the Raptors 905, and 3 p.m. start for Indiana Pacers visiting Toronto Raptors for the last time of the season. If we win today, we sweep the Pacers for the season, 4-0. So this will be the last time we see Siakam this year. All right, guys, let's get out there and have a great day. Stay warm. It is really freaking cold today. And I hope that everybody can have a great, joyous Sunday with full of blessings and just good stuff coming. Remember, what you got is great. And in some ways, God is great, and all the glory to God. Thank you, God, for another day, the sunshine and the everything, the birds and the rabbits and the squirrels and the trees and the microorganisms and everything that you are in. The essence of life is God itself. And when you're not with life, you're not with respecting life and coveting and protecting life, you're antichrist, is what I'm going to say right now. Because God is a creator, and he created, or they created, she created the whole entire world. And in some ways, when you destroy the world that they created, well, you're anti the creator. And in some ways, that's anti God. So I would say this: if you're in an industry that's destroying trees, destroying habitat for animals, destroying people's jobs and lives, you are anti God. And it's going to be more and more like this. We got to keep it real simple. Either you're for life or you're against it. If you're for life, you're for death, and you're for people dying and having bad things. And there are people like that out there today. So, yeah. All right. I wish safety and love and blessings. No injuries to the Raptors or any other players in the league, anybody, anywhere, any athletes at the Olympics, the Super Bowl. I don't care where it is. No people getting hurt by ice or anything stupid like that. Also, and just justice prevailing, and the evil and the criminals get their day in court and they go to jail. That's what we want. So, yeah. Blessings to the Raptor Freak family. Blessings to all y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Let's get that double W today. Let's go, Raptors.